at you with this sweet, piping hot tea. So sit on down and enjoy the show because JustDeeShow is raw and uncensored.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell.
What's up, DzPeepz? This is your girl D coming at you with this sweet, piping hot tea. So sit on down and enjoy the show because JustDeeShow is raw and uncensored.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell.
What's up, DzPeepz? This is your girl D coming at you with this sweet, piping hot tea. So sit on down and enjoy the show because JustDeeShow is raw and uncensored.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell.
Okay, y'all, what's up? Give me 1 second, because I'm trying to adjust. I had this set up and I don't know what happened because it's like I'm trying to get it right where it's centered. Y'all, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for tuning in. Give me 1 moment. I should have grabbed those cough drops. Y'all bear with me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired, but we are here and we are here for part 2. I got a few videos to show y'all, so bear with me just a moment. And if y'all can let me know in the chat if the background music is okay or if it's too loud. If it's okay, put a Y or a 1 in the chat. If it's like too loud where you can't hear me, put a 2. Okay, I'm gonna just have to wait because it's multiple videos that we're about to review for part 2. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to the people on Instagram. Oh Lord, hold up, y'all. This constant weather change is like really triggering my allergies. It's been like this all day. And I already took the allergy medicine, but it's like all the post-nasal drip. because the temperature keeps changing. Literally, one thing about Houston, it'll be like, for real, like summer one day and then like winter the next. And I'm like, I keep forgetting, as long as I've been living here, I keep forgetting this time of year how that happens. Hold on, y'all. Because I don't want to take another allergy tab, because then that will make me extremely sleepy. So I'm going to speak healing over this. And then I'm going to go get me some honey so I can make my own little antibiotic. And actually, before I continue, I decided this live, I do want to start off with a prayer, because I'm going to be talking about part 2 of Jonathan Hayes, but I'm also going to be covering a lot of this satanic agenda tonight. Especially because of the post that I was engaging in conversation with on Instagram regarding the foundations of religion and churches, the whole, crooked preachers talking about seed offerings and how God needs your money. And I was telling them how that has a lot of foundation in Freemasonry and, Satanism, and like the Church of Satan and all that. So y'all know on my channel is raw and uncensored, and I'm always researching and exposing the satanic agenda, as well as bringing knowledge and healing at the same time, because I am an empath, clairvoyant, psychic medium. So at my core, yes, I'm a spiritualist. As a human, I'm a Scorpio, and yes, I have a potty mouth because I'm grown. So my channel is raw and uncensored. If you got holier than thou ears, this ain't for you. This ain't the platform for you. So you might want to click off right now. Because yes, I pray. And yes, I be cussing when I talk because I'm grown. So, like I said, if you one of them religious people that this just ain't the platform for you. But then again, I do hope you stay so you can get some knowledge. So let me start off with the prayer. Most High, I want to thank you right now for this live. Thank you for everybody that's tuning in. Thank you for every ear that hears this live. Thank you for my healing, their healing as well. I speak healing over everybody that is listening to this live, especially those who are survivors of sexual abuse and sex trafficking, those who have survived any sort of ritualistic, satanic, like rituals, any of that. I speak healing to their heart chakra. I speak healing to their mind, and I cancel the assignment of the trauma that is trying to keep people bound, and I speak healing to that trauma. I thank you right now for the spiritual gifts you've given me. I thank you for the natural gifts that you have given me and the spiritual eyesight that you have given me. Thank you to all of my angels, ancestors, spirit guides, ascended masters for keeping me safe, keeping me protected, and as always, being with me and around me. And I just want to speak healing to everybody on this live. I speak healing to Jonathan Hay right now. I speak healing to the trauma that he has endured and the trauma that he is still working through. And I speak divine protection over him, his household, his entire family, wife, child, and grandchild. And I speak victory not only for him, but for all of us who are survivors of sexual abuse. I speak victory for Forever Freedom by JustDeePeepz Show coming into fruition this year, so that we can help aid and find the children who are still being trafficked and actually help them heal. I thank you right now for all these things. I ask in your name, your son's name, Yeshua, the true Christ, Asheo. Now, we're going to keep moving forward because time is of the essence. And right now, yeah, I'm speaking healing over all of this allergic triggering because of the constant weather changes here. Thank everybody that has been patient and that is tuning in. Y'all give me just 1 second. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So for those who have not, and actually let me quickly acknowledge those who have, because when I logged into my Rumble account to set up the live, I saw that there are some new people that have been following me on rumble.com and that have recently subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. For those who have not, y'all get over to rumble.com/user/JustDeeShow. because the Pizzagate documentaries, pretty much all, not just Pizzagate, but all the completely uncensored content that I'm going to be speaking about, because I'm going to dive even deeper into the satanic agenda. And I know with YouTube, some, they still do censorship here. So you want to be on rumble.com, because basically what I'm going to do is do the multi-stream like I am now. But when we get ready to actually view the video content, like the documentaries, I have about 10 different documentaries that I want us to do watch parties for. So make sure that you're on rumble.com. That way you can participate in the chat. You can watch the content, because you do have to have an account. And it's free to sign up. So make sure y'all get over to rumble.com. And if you're tuning in tonight, do not forget to like the video, because if you're here, you like me. Even if you're a troll, you like it here. So, because trolls only show up because they like the healing energy over here, if y'all didn't know that by now. For those who don't know, the music in the background, this is 741 hertz music, high frequency music. This is what I listen to all day, every day, literally. This one, or the 639 hertz, which is the frequency of self-love. This is the frequency, it's called Soul Cleanse, and it cancels out negativity and any toxic energy and just helps you to be calm and grounded and centered. So that's also something that I talk a lot about during my spiritual consultations. And shout out to those who have booked consultations. I really have enjoyed assisting all of you in your healing. And for those that are new to my channel, if you have suffered sexual abuse as a child or any sort of abuse, do feel free to book a consultation with me, because I specialize in assisting those who have survived trauma, helping you heal, helping you work through that. Even if you're dealing with PTSD or complex PTSD or just depression, anxiety, all the things, all the side effects of surviving sexual abuse. Those are things that I specialize in. And then if you have questions about spirituality, if you're like me, where you grew up religious and then left religion and adopted spirituality, but you have questions about it, if you have spiritual gifts and you don't understand them, or you need assistance in learning how to cultivate it, all of those things are what I aid and assist in with my spiritual consultations. So if anybody is interested in booking, hit me up on Instagram, JustDeeShow. Make sure that you follow me, because if you don't follow me and you send me a DM, I'm not going to get it. My account filters out, message requests and spam messages. So literally I won't see it. So make sure that you do that. And then, we'll talk on Instagram, because you can call on Instagram and I'll give you more details as far as the pricing. And then thank you again to everybody that's been supporting, signing, and sharing my Stop YouTube Global Cyberbullying and Gang Stalking petition. My goal is to get to 1,000 signatures as soon as possible, y'all. So please sign, and more importantly, share the petition so that we can get this litigation going, because I am planning to actually sue YouTube for allowing the multiple cyberbullying and gang stalking attacks on me and my channel. I'm trying to find, there it is. Okay. So if you want to share the petition, just scroll all the way to the bottom. You can scan the QR code, copy the link, email, send it on X, WhatsApp, Facebook, and whatever next door is. And then if you are a real reject of YouTube, a geriatric real reject of YouTube, or maybe even one of the Garbage Pail Clan members, Jaguar Wright's Garbage Pail Clan members, y'all don't forget to hit the link. Hit the link. Po little tink tank. Y'all know I'm writing a song for BetterHelp.com. I'm going to get that sponsorship. I'm speaking that into existence right now. But in all seriousness, even for those who may not be a real reject of YouTube, hit on advice if you are struggling. And this is all jokes aside. If you are struggling in any area with your mental health and you feel that you need an actual therapists. You can click on therapy. I do believe they have free therapy on here as well. They have resources like if you can't afford to pay for therapy, and then you click on categories. They do cover a lot of different things. So for those who are serious about improving their mental health, definitely hit me up to schedule a spiritual consultation, but also visit betterhelp.com. I'm going to share a little bit of information with y'all about me. When Elissa first died, my best friend, my sister, since I was 5 years old, I struggled severely with just not being motivated, crying all the time. And I started grief counseling. That's actually what started my journey in healing and spirituality. Is I started grief counseling. And at the time, I was back home in Omaha, and I was able to qualify for free mental health services because of the hospital that I worked for. I actually ended up working for the hospital where my thyroid cancer surgery was performed. And because of that, I qualified for free counseling. And when I tell you, especially in our community, it's really frowned upon to seek therapy. It has been an amazing tool to aid in your healing. Therapy is not for people that are crazy. It's for people who have suffered trauma for too long and do not know what to do with it. So grief counseling, I definitely recommend to anybody who is suffering a recent loss. After she died, my aunt died. After my aunt died, my father died, and then after that, my uncle died. And just this past October, my uncle's wife, my Auntie Mary, they both raised me with my mom. She passed away. So I understand. I understand overcoming grief. I understand overcoming complex PTSD, depression, anxiety, all of that. And I do definitely, to those who are survivors of sexual abuse, I highly recommend counseling sessions. I highly recommend that. I also recommend joining support groups. That's what I did after I was raped by my ex-fiance. And like I said, the pastor at the church I was at told me to be silent and don't go to the police because he didn't want a scandal to come up on the church because they were already being investigated for embezzlement and money laundering. And so I've suffered with PTSD since that happened, technically since my childhood, because I grew up in an abusive household, but definitely after going through that experience. So do not feel ashamed if you are struggling. My spiritual consultation sessions are not just to aid in wellness and mental health, but I'm, again, a psychic medium, clairvoyant empath. So a lot of times I channel people. I can look into your past, and like, for instance, every one of my clients, I've been able to see their past, when the sexual abuse started, who did it, and the effects and all of that. So again, I'm appreciative of those who have entrusted me to aid and assist you in your healing. And that is my goal as a high vibrational high priestess on this planet, is to bring healing and knowledge and truth. So again, I know I be joking with BetterHelp, but for real, if you're struggling, definitely seek out help, because when you don't seek out help, hurt people, and you end up like Diddy. Okay, so with that being said, give me 1 second. I'm gonna check y'all's comments here in just a moment. Cody, good to see you, my good brother. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got Andrew in the building. Good to see you, Andrew. Gemini Ant, good to see you, my love. Happy to see you too, family. I really love y'all, for real. Like, I was thinking about that today. I'm really grateful for my DzPeepz. Y'all have kept me going. You guys keep me inspired. And the times that I feel like giving up, I never do. And I just want to thank all of my DzPeepz for your support, especially those of you guys that are veteran DzPeepz that's been rocking with me, for over a year. So shout out to all of you, and shout out to all the new subscribers as well, the new DzPeepz. Because I didn't even realize that the subscriber count had went up, because I've been so busy editing and working on stuff, promoting. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, The concert at Real Life Street Stars in April is actually being sponsored by a business associate of mine, the one that actually asked me to go and perform. So I'm going to edit a reel tomorrow. I'm going to post it everywhere on YouTube and on social media. If you're an artist or a rapper and you want exposure, this is your chance to get on the blue couch on Real Life Street Stars and DM me on Instagram. I can actually put you directly in touch with him and he can get you signed up to perform live during the concert next month. So any artist, any rapper, hit me up on Instagram. It's the same, Just D Show. Like I said, you have to follow and then send me a DM, but I can get you plugged in. And he's really good friends with the whole entire staff there. I think him and Baby Joker have been friends. He said I think close to a decade or something like that. So anyone who would like to perform, this is your time to shine. This is your time, your chance. So just let me know. Hold on. He said, Chomp said, "Oh, what's up, Chomp?" That's my nephew, my fur nephew. He said, "It's the truth. Her consultations are the real deal. I've had several. She was able to look into my past and tell me things that I didn't even know, which are definitely true." Thank you so much, family. I really appreciate that. Like, the support means everything to me, because I know, I go hard with my research. And I'm a passionate Scorpio, so certain subjects, I'm gonna be passionate. But at the end of the day, when I died and went to heaven and they asked me to do this mission, they showed me how hard it was gonna be. They showed me it was gonna be really hard for a long time. And if I just kept persevering, God was gonna bless me with everything that I desire, earth-wise. And one thing I know is that no matter how difficult situations have been, God has kept me through all of it. And what I was shown in heaven, y'all, I'm gonna show some of this tonight, and then I'm gonna do an additional live later on. The level to which we've been deceived by churches and religion is insane. And they literally sent me back here to show the fallacy, to expose the satanic agenda, to show the deception, to wake the people up. When the Bible says the dead in Christ shall rise, it's not zombies, it's not any of that. It is your consciousness awakening. Christ at this point is a frequency, just like God in heaven is a frequency. And it's an energy that you become, that you embody. And it's not an external man that you look to worship or praise. It's who you become. That's why it says the body of Christ, which is all of us who are in alignment with that frequency. So I appreciate those that I was in conversation with on Instagram these past few days, because it's one thing to practice religion, which that's all you're doing is practicing. It's another thing to actually live scripture. Like, I've been literally walking by faith every day, not knowing where the next dime's going to come from, because I need to have this surgery. And every day God has made a way. Even when I've had to be temporarily uncomfortable, God has always made a way. And the strength that it's taken to persevere through this Job, because that's what it is for me in my life right now. This is my Job experience. Persevering through this is nothing but God. And I thank God for the strength to do it. And the human side to me, of course, there's times I feel like giving up. I just don't. I shift my focus. I shift my frequency to gratitude. I start doing gratitude mantras. I start singing like I sang earlier this evening when I was in the shower, trying to, figure out if I do go to the event in April, which song do I want to do. That music is my first love, so it always shifts my frequency from whatever I might be dealing with or going through. So the one thing I tell everybody is, when the Bible says walking by faith, a lot of people say it, but then when you're met with circumstances where you have nothing but faith to keep you going, a lot of people give up. A lot of people sell out. A lot of people do sell their souls, and your soul is the most valuable thing that you have. So no matter what I go through, there will never be anything on this earth that I want where I would ever sell my soul for. And why would you sell your soul to be on a planet that's already condemned? This is the home of the fallen angels. They showed me in heaven. Lucifer and the third that left, they were hurled out of heaven, and earth was created to house them. So those of us who resonate with the frequency of the Most High God, we do not give in to that. And y'all do need to understand that we are literally living revelations every day. We're living in the tribulation. Y'all do know that the mark of the beast is coming by 2030. So there's a lot of things that I was shown in 2013, in 2011, that I would talk about on my Facebook page. Like I said, I've been on this. I just started my YouTube channel at the end of 2021, but I've been researching since I was 11 years old. And the things I would talk about was my father and his father, my grandpa Rodriguez, who was in the military. He put me on game about like everything my daddy and my grandpa told me. It has all happened, like everything. So yes, you know, we talk about what's relevant in terms of Diddy, you know, the Epstein files, Jay-Z, all of that. But at the core of it, we need to be preparing to get off the grid. We need to be preparing to live off the earth again. Because those who resonate with God, we ain't taking that mark. And these cell phones, these smartphones, y'all, you ain't gonna be able to have them. You're gonna have to get rid of all of this shit. This is why I'm doing this content now. Because once I'm off the grid, I'm not gonna be on the internet at all. No social media, no nothing. My dad prepared me. He told me exactly what to do when shit hits the fan. And I've been shown in so many premonitions what's coming. I told you guys last year that there was going to be a peace treaty. I said by 2025, we're going to see a peace treaty. And then after that, you know, it's going to be when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. And now we have the peace treaty, and we have all these wars and rumors of wars that the Bible talks about. I told you guys about Gog versus Magog, which is my movie that I'm writing, editing, producing, about my experience in heaven. When they showed me the double doors, it said Gog versus Magog. It had all the religious symbols over it, 2 double doors. Everybody was following all the false prophets, all the fake preachers. And when they went through the double doors, they fell into hell. And way off to the right was a narrow door that said Yeshua, the true Christ, also known as Jesus, the false Christ, which is the Roman Catholic whitewashed version of Yeshua. So they said, I kept, because the angels were showing me, and I said, how come they don't see this door? They're saying that they're following Christ, but they're following man through religion and deception, and they're perishing. But then only the chosen could see the narrow door that said Yeshua. Only the chosen. And when we squeezed through that narrow door, we had our celestial bodies. They gave us like celestial weapons. We had celestial fatigue on. It was like a real, like what the Bible says, you know, that final war. So I have to still make sure that even with my investigative research about Diddy, Jay-Z, you know, all of this stuff, that I still complete my mission spiritually, which is the mission that they gave me, which is to come back and expose the truth. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of both tonight. So give me 1 second. Now, shout out to Morbid Melon. And by the way, shout out to Jonathan Hay. I feel his energy. So if you are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm continuing to pray for you, King. And I am here to support you as well as my platform. Shout out to Morbid Melon, because their videos that they've been putting out, they're hilarious, but they're also very true. Like, very on point. And I wanted to actually start the live with the video I previously showed y'all, because I want y'all to see everything that I've been talking about with Jay-Z, Diddy, Oprah, Jaguar, Epstein, all of this. This is all a collection of people connected to the same energy. And that energy is an energy of deception. You can call it Luciferian, you can call it Satanism, whatever you want to call it. It's an energy of deception that goes throughout the industry. People knowing that children, women, and men are being sexually sacrificed and physically sacrificed. And they're either participating allegedly or they're covering for. And my thing is, if you're silent, you're still complicit. Just because you don't say nothing, Rhianna, hey, it's a lot of celebrities that ain't been saying shit this entire, like throughout the whole Diddy Cassie case, throughout all these allegations, throughout all these, different people coming forward. It's a lot of y'all that ain't saying shit. And I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention to the ones that aren't saying anything. Because there's a reason for that. Now, this attempted shooting with Rhianna, I feel like it's reminiscence of Aaliyah. And it just feels like, I wonder what Rhianna may have said privately that got back, because she literally has not said anything. Like, even when certain reporters would stop her and ask her questions, she would just keep it pushing. And so it just makes me wonder, did Rhianna possibly say that she was going to expose information that she knows? Because why the attempted shooting? Or is it just a huge distraction? Hold on. Yeah, like this. The way Rhianna was introduced to Jay-Z was inappropriate. I don't know, like, I've got 15 nieces and nephews. I have a niece that is about to be 16. I could not imagine my sister or my brother-in-law allowing my niece to travel out of the United States by herself to go meet with a record executive producer who's 30-something, who's like twice her age, and you don't send any sort of security, chaperone, or even a relative, a brother, a sibling, to watch over her. Now, there's rumors that have been going around for quite some time alleging that Rihanna's family, we know her family was poor because she said it, but they're alleging that she was a child prostitute, and that was the real reason that her parents, like basically her dad, they're saying he pimped her out, and her dad is a drug addict. Now, again, these are allegations, and all commentary on my channel is alleged outside of my real life experience and my spiritual gifts. But it just never made sense to me. How, Sway? How do you let your teenage daughter travel alone? Like, they weren't concerned for her safety. So it does make me wonder if there were maybe some like truth to that rumor, because it just never made sense. Why not wait until she's at least 18? Then she's at least considered, in the United States, considered a legal adult. But she's a minor traveling internationally alone. Something the milk ain't clean. Then, Jay-Z and them holding her in the office until 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Spiritually is the witching hour, where a lot of satanic and demonic activity goes on. We have to wonder why. What was the purpose in this being the way she was set up to meet Jay-Z? And let's see Rihanna's age. I know she's around my age. Okay, she's younger. Rihanna's 38. So that means she's known Jay-Z for 22 years. She's known him almost as long as Beyonce has. I think Rihanna probably knows a lot. And I think maybe Jay-Z possibly could have felt threatened. And they're saying in the wake of Diddy's arrest, people are speculating about which prominent entertainer will be exposed next. Well, Diddy did say in Jaya that he was going to have the last laugh after Jay-Z, according to him in that phone call, left him hanging. Several conspiracy theorists suggest that person could be Jay-Z. In addition to typical rumors and accusations, he groomed his wife Beyonce. I've been hearing that for over a decade, before YouTube, before I ever had a YouTube. Resurfaced interviews are prompting people to question the origins of his working relationship with Rihanna. Pause. And then keep it in mind that Jonathan Hay was Rihanna's publicist. Keep it in mind that when the publication came out about their alleged affair, that he was told to go public and say that he lied to save face for Jay-Z. Not because he felt he lied, but because you better go and say you lied because it could threaten Jay-Z's reputation. Again, in every industry, people have consensusly said that Jay-Z cares a lot about his image and that he allegedly will do anything to protect it, including getting rid of people like Kathy White, allegedly his baby mama. Oh, and did y'all know he has a daughter? I'm going to show y'all that tonight too. He has a grown-ass daughter that's 32. That he bought a $1.8 million home for, but he made her sign an NDA before he gave her the keys. Again, how many children does this motherfucker have? And sir, why you wouldn't take the paternity test for Rymir? Why did you allegedly pay a judge to dismiss that case with prejudice? Is it because you know you're Rymir's dad allegedly? Is it because you knew that if you took that paternity test, it would come out positive and then you would be charged with additional RICO and sex trafficking charges in addition to all the charges, on the 3 cases you got coming against you right now? See, again, I think Rihanna knows a lot. And I think instead of Nicki being a threat, I think Rihanna is the biggest threat to Jay-Z, in my opinion. I really do. Jay-Z signed the Barbados-born singer to Def Jam in 2005. At the time he was the label's president, Rihanna was 16 when her career was launched. And then keep it in mind what Jonathan Hayes said. I think I'm going to revisit the video from, matter of fact, I am, from Real Life. Because I know some people didn't get to see it on the last one. He said they had everything ready to go for her album, for Ponda Replay. And they said put it on hold until she's 17. Just, again, my personal opinion spiritually is that Jay-Z and Rihanna allegedly were fucking. This was talked about for decades. And the energy between them never felt platonic. Not to me. So it's like, well, you know what? We don't want people to speculate that I'm allegedly fucking her. So let's, put it off till she's almost an adult. It just, everything about that the way they came together and all of that, it's always been shady in my opinion. Her debut album, Music of the Sun, was released that same year, following the success of her first single, Ponda Replay, which she had already recorded prior to her stardom. However, her reflections about her first meeting with the hip-hop icon have come under scrutiny. Also in 2005, Riri appeared. Can I find that video? Hold up. Let me find that video. Because I want y'all to see the energy. It was very awkward. And the way that Tyra, I think that's why they came for Tyra on Netflix. Because, again, I heard that Jay-Z is real ruthless. And the fact that Tyra was the one that was like, say what Jay-Z told you, and it was like mad uncomfortable. You could tell Rihanna didn't want to say that shit. And Tyra was just like, so what did he say to you again? And it's like, Tyra, why are you egging her on? Yeah, I found it. Okay. So this is that video. Hold on. When this was posted, in 2015. Yeah, he said to Rhianna, there are two ways to leave. Out the door with a signed deal or through the window and we're on the 29th floor. Again, what grown-ass man says that to a 16-year-old girl? Somebody who's really fucked up, in my opinion. So yeah, in 2005, Riri reappeared on the Tyra Banks show where she performed her first massive US hit and spoke about the night she became a signed recording artist, among remembering that she was riddled with nerves before meeting Ove, which is Jay-Z, because his dumbass calls himself Jehovah. That's, you know what, let me just address that. Sir, you look like Joe Camel meets Donkey Kong. How the fuck you gonna call yourself Jehovah when you follow Aleister Crowley, the actual founder of the Church of Satan, Mr. Do As Out Will themselves? That is the audacity and the blasphemy for me, which is why your end is going to be horrible. She recalled two specific comments he allegedly made, one of them being, we don't sign songs here, we sign artists. And the other being, there are two ways to leave here. I go through the door with the deal signed, or through this window and we're on the 29th floor. So yeah, let's just take a look at this real quick. And let me switch my banner to the copyright disclaimer. And all video content that we're reviewing is for the purposes of fair use and education, entertainment, as well as investigative research. Neptune said, not to mention her dad passed away last year. I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know about karma so much, but more than that, he probably just was old. So if these stars leave the country, it looks crazy. No, it looks crazy because she was only 16 and left the country by herself. That's what looked crazy to me. Yeah, according to, I'm gonna show y'all the articles. There's a few articles saying that he has a 32-year-old daughter and a granddaughter. Jay-Z is allegedly a grandpa. Like, it's real crazy. Even Jaguar said on the blue couch that Jay-Z has several kids. We know, but we also know she'd be lying. He said, I remember you mentioning that it wasn't Chris Brown who beat Rhianna. It was actually Jay-Z, and they made Chris Brown take the blame. That's what rumors are saying. So let me make sure I put up the banner. Okay, I did. Let me show y'all this video.
When Jay-Z signed her to Def Jam Records, and now she's taken the music industry by storm. Here to perform her hot single, Pon de Replay. Give it up for Rhianna!
Hey, Sarah, I want to see everybody out.
Okay, I just want to get to the part where she talks. I don't want to do the performance. Okay, here we go. She was so young and so innocent.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, because your name to me is so original. Like, where does that come from?
I have no idea where it came from, but it's my middle name. It's actually my real name.
Oh, so it's your middle name?
Yes.
So what's your first name?
Robin.
Robin. Oh, I can see Rihanna's like Rihanna. Nobody has that. And where are you from? I love your accent.
Oh, thank you, Barbados.
Barbados. Oh my gosh. Don't they have something called Banks beer out there?
Yeah.
Banks beer? I don't drink, y'all, but you know. I know they got Banks beer out there. So tell me about your audition with Jay-Z. Tell me what he said to you.
A really good audition. Yes. But before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
You had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Pon de Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sign songs here, we sign artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said...
You know, see, right there is the shame. Because for me, I could tell Rhianna was trying to speed, like, hurry up to not have to talk about that. And then Tyra's like, nah, wait a minute. Didn't he say something about a window? And she's like, oh, shit. Like, when she turns her head and laughs, to me, I feel all the nervousness, like, oh shit, now I got to talk about this. This is, for me, I feel like this video here, because this video has been trending ever since, you know, the accusations against Jay-Z, especially with the Epstein files coming out. This has trended again since the release of the Epstein files. It's my opinion that that's the reason they sent all these people to go in on Tyra. Because, okay, I used to model. I do still model sometimes, but when I was modeling actively is during the time that America's Next Top Model was popping. And Tyra's cool, but there's moments, of course, she was being a bitch. I mean, like, she was. Like, she just was. And there would be certain episodes, like, she would talk to them girls crazy, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think I want to try out for this show, because I know I got too big of a mouth, and I've been had checked her on air. Like, so that's not for me. Tyra had her moments where, yeah, she would be kind of extra, but for the most part, she always, like, was trying to push the models to be their best. At the end of the day, the way people went in on her on social media, I feel like this little video, like, trending might have had something to do with that, allegedly.
You did it more.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said there are 2 ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
And notice how everybody, like, she's like, yeah, either through the front door with the deal sign or out this window, we're on the 29th floor. And she's always nervously laughing. That seems to be her coping mechanism. And a lot of times when people don't know how to deal with that shit, they use humor as, you know, an outlet. But there's nothing funny about a grown-ass man telling a 16-year-old girl that he's going to throw her out a 29th floor window. That's hella fucked up. So if she was used to being groomed, I feel like Jay-Z groomed all of his artists. Foxy Brown, her, Aaliyah, definitely Beyonce talking about, and he showed me how to be a woman. A man cannot show no female how to be no woman. That's crazy. That's not even possible. And if it's true that him and Rhianna were allegedly having an intimate relationship, it would explain why she just, you know, put up with it. Like, it was almost like she was used to tolerating abuse. Like, she was used to that toxic behavior and just fell in line with it. And who knows what went on in that room? Because again, why would you hold a 16-year-old in a room until 3 a.m.? We all grown. My channel's raw and uncensored. People be fucking at 3 a.m. Let's just keep it a stack. You wasn't singing in the office with him by yourself till no damn 3 a.m. In my opinion. I don't believe that shit. Not at all. So you got her on here, you know, talking all nervous about, yeah, he said, you know, they were interested, and then it was just, I feel like she just really wanted to leave out the fucked up shit that he said. Because it's almost like, I don't want to expose him and get in trouble. A lot of people are afraid of Jay-Z. And it's my opinion that Rihanna's always been afraid of him. But again, if she did spend time with him like that, I feel like she probably knows the most about him. And I always felt like her song Umbrella was about him. When the sun shines, we'll shine together. That's a Luciferian reference. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'd always be a friend. Took an oath. I'ma stick it out to the end. She been sticking it out. She ain't been saying shit. Not nothing. So again, why would somebody attempt to shoot her? Now, there's rumors going around alleging that allegedly Beyonce paid to take her out. Allegedly. Apparently, they're saying that Beyonce and Jay-Z have been separated for the last 2 years. I mean, a lot of blogs have been saying that. It seems like Jay-Z has been in love with every other woman but her. He clearly was in love with Aaliyah. The fact that he tried to fight Dame Dash for her, and all those pictures of him and Aaliyah, they looked so happy. And it definitely always felt like he was in love with Rhianna. To me, it always did. And Rihanna's married with kids. She done went on with her life, but she hasn't said a goddamn thing. Not about Diddy, not about him, not about Cassie. She's just like, I'm staying the fuck out of all of this shit. So it still makes no sense why anybody would have tried to attempt to shoot her.
The last time I on you was like, he said, they're too rich to leave here.
And look at how serious. Wait, let me run that back. She was laughing and then her face went immediately flat. She was like, he said, that's a trauma response because she's reliving that trauma. There's no more humor there. Her face went completely straight. Like, yeah, he said he was going to throw my ass out a fucking window. Like, that's fucked up. How any of y'all can say he was a great black man is beyond me, and you see shit like this.
Like he said, they're too rich to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
And then the nervous laugh, the nervous smile, the look of shock on Tyra's face, the nervous laughter in the audience and people whispering. This is a very uncomfortable moment. There's nothing funny about this at all. These are the kinds of things that Jay-Z is about to have to answer for in court. Good to see you, George. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, I got you, Andrew. He said, explains that alleged fake beef that people used to say Beyonce and Rihanna had back in the day. Oh, yeah, because for the longest time, they was like, Rihanna was a new side bitch. And that, you know, Beyonce knew about it and she knew she couldn't do nothing about it. So she just had to play her role. I mean, look at Rihanna. She looks amazing. It's like, look at her. I mean, compared to Beyonce, and this is 2005. This is before AI and CGI. This is natural beauty. Compared to Beyonce, Rihanna looked a lot better. Plus, she has an accent. She has a beautiful voice. Honestly, I feel like Rihanna can outsing Beyonce any day. Beyonce's a great performer. She's not a great artist. Like, I've never physically, emotionally connected with any of her songs, ever. It's just, you know, it's catchy. Single Ladies is catchy. Me, Myself, and I was the only song I related to after my ex-fiance raped me. That was the first time I ever... And look at that. It was due to trauma. But like, there's no songs of hers that I feel empowered by. Jill Scott, 1000%. Erykah Badu, absolutely. Lauryn Hill, absolutely. Lettucey, absolutely. Beyonce, no. So, I mean, it makes sense. Just like they said Beyonce allegedly was behind Aaliyah getting killed. Because any woman that Jay showed like real love for was a threat to her, allegedly. And I feel like Jay-Z was definitely in love with Rihanna, in my opinion.
He was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure working with Jay-Z, you met Beyonce.
That's right.
How was it like meeting her?
Oh, Tyra's messy. I didn't see this part before. I didn't see the part where she asked her about Beyonce. Tyra is messy as hell. Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot she had that Tyra Banks show for a minute. This was so messy. She made sure to expose me. Look, she made sure to have Rihanna expose Jay-Z first and then to have her talk about Beyonce. She knows damn well in 2005, all them rumors were circulating about Rihanna allegedly being Jay-Z's side bitch because he had been with Beyonce since 2001. Like, this is messy as hell.
And I'm sure working with Jay-Z, you met Beyonce.
That's right.
How was it like meeting her?
I could not speak. Really. That's someone I really looked up to for a long time. And it was after one of my showcases, and he was introducing me to everyone from the label. Then he finally said, okay, one more person. And there she was. I could not speak.
And she gave you some advice.
Yes, she did. She just told me to, you know, when I get on stage, let loose, have fun, and be in control.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to let it go.
No.
Because you know she'd be like, what? You know how she does it. But we're going to be hooking up the whole...
The thing about Rihanna is she knows how to be politically correct. She knows how, because the funny thing is her and Beyonce, it's not like they put out albums together and shit. I want to know, Was there a conversation between Rhianna and Jay-Z the week before last? That's what I want to know. Oh, wait, what happened? I gotta stop using the touchscreen. I keep opening up links on accident. So yeah, it says as the clip has gained new views on social media, several people expressed the shocking and the tactics Jay-Z used to sign her. And again, he had to use intimidation to sign Rhianna. That speaks volumes. Another comment read, now imagine you have a 16-year-old daughter and an older man said this to her, man or woman, would you be okay with it? I don't even have a daughter and it's a hard no for me. To those that see this behavior and stand behind it, you are part of the problem. Specifically her mom and dad. Because they allowed it. My question is why? If the rumors are not true that Rhianna allegedly used to be a child prostitute in Barbados, if that's not true, what parent would allow their child to be put in possible danger like that? She's flying out the country internationally alone. Something for damn sure in the milk ain't clean. There's no way. There's no way you're letting a 16-year-old travel out the country by themselves. If there's not some nefarious reason behind that. Maybe the reason that they made her travel by herself was that so that nobody could expose whatever the fuck was going on between her and Jay-Z, and the reason she was going to meet him and had to be. And again, why did you hold her in the room until 3 a.m.? He has never explained that. What were y'all doing? Now, Jaguar alleges that she was there. She swears she's everywhere. You at every trending event. I was there. But she alleged that, you know, they were in the room alone. But other people have said that. So, you know, Jaguar regurgitates shit. But a lot of people have said that. You know, yeah, they were in the room alone and they were in there till 3 a.m. doing what? There ain't that. She's 16. There ain't that much talking in the world. Matter of fact, let's look at the age difference. Because I think this nigga's in his 50s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's 56. So, let me see. Okay, so he's 18 years older than her, which means he was 34 fucking years old. Literally over twice her age when she flew internationally by herself to go meet him. Everything about that just feels wrong. It says a second clip, also from 2005, explains Jay-Z's account of the first meeting. We've seen that. Yeah, when he's like, when she walked in the office, I was like speechless because she has that energy about her. But also, if you're a pedophile, allegedly, and again, she's gorgeous, of course you're going to be like, oh my God, but you shouldn't be thinking that way about a minor. It's one thing if y'all are the same age. Whether she's gorgeous or not, she's still a fucking minor. So a lot of people have alleged over the years that Jay-Z has an affinity allegedly for young girls, but I also heard that he allegedly had an affinity for young boys, just like Diddy, allegedly. Says after she performed, the artist turned label executive said he spoke to Rhianna, learned about her work ethic until he was convinced that she would not be a one-hit wonder. We signed her that night. We didn't let her leave the office. You never explain why. 3 a.m. is when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 4 p.m, we signed it by 3 a.m. that day. 12 hours? What in the entire fuck were y'all doing? 3 p.m? Now, I've done so many concerts and marathon singing at these churches. You know, when we had our mass choir and our conventions and all of that. 12 hours, my nigga. With a 16-year-old and you were 34? What in the entire fuck were you guys doing? Again, it's things like this that make me feel like Rhianna could be the very one that could destroy Jay-Z by telling her truth if she ever decides to. I have a feeling she's not, because I think she's like still afraid of this man. I was absolutely certain. Oh my God. Somebody said, whether Jay-Z was joking or not, to say that to a young, impressionable teenage girl with no other adult in the room is fucked up. Someone else remarked, time to start blaming parents. Y'all let the parents get away with not being around the teenagers while this type of stuff is happening. Again, why would the parents let her go alone if it wasn't something nefarious going on? Now, this is a post that says Jay-Z dated Foxy Brown when she was 15 and took her virginity. He was 23. Jay-Z was going out with Aaliyah when she was 15, 16, 17, and he was 26, 27, 28. Jay-Z met Beyonce at 16 and started dating her when she was 18, 19, and he was 30. Jay-Z signed Rhianna at 16, and she said in an interview, oh, it doesn't let me see the rest because it's on X. But these are all things that, you know, we've heard for years. Oh, wait, here it goes. Yeah, it says Jay-Z signed Rhianna at 16 and said in an interview that she was flown to meet Jay-Z, who wouldn't let her leave until she signed the contract, locked her in the office until 3 a.m. Now, holding people against their will is something that Jaguar did say on the Piers Morgan interview. I would say telling a 16-year-old that they can't leave your office is considered holding someone against their will. So as much as I can't stand Jaguar for the fuck shit she did, at the end of the day, there's some truth to that. Because, I mean, Rhianna said it out of her own mouth. You wouldn't let her leave until 3 a.m. And then you were so arrogant as to put that information out there yourself. But we're supposed to believe you're not a pedophile? I really pray for Blue and the twins. I hope he's not doing nothing to them babies. I swear to God, I hope he's not. In an extended video of the interview, the 99 Problems artist explained that his business partner, Jay Brown, was acquainted with Rihanna's lawyer at the time, who set up the meeting. Who was Rihanna's lawyer? I would not be surprised if I find out that her lawyer is on the Epstein list. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of digging. Who was... Damn. It's just gonna keep showing this stuff about the lady that shot her. I want to know who the lawyer is. I'm gonna find out, because I have a feeling that person probably is on the Epstein list. And if they're on the Epstein list, then yeah, that would solidify that this was some nasty pedophile bullshit that they fucking did, allegedly. He does not mention how many people were present for the audition or how many people may have been present when the deal was signed. Jay-Z stepped down as president of Def Jam after 4 years in 2009. Rhianna released 7 albums with the label co-founded by Russell Simmons, who also has sexual assault cases against him and took his punk ass to Bali, where there's no extradition laws. Before she left it in 2014, she followed her mentor and signed with Roc Nation, the entertainment company founded by Jay-Z in 2008, the same company that's being sued with, what was it, 4 different lawsuits are going against Roc Nation right now and Jay-Z. It's just real crazy. He left Def Jam in 2009. That was 4 years after he met Rhianna. I think, what was the year that that went viral about Rhianna and his relationship? Because I need to look that up. When it was that Jonathan Hay first... okay, there we go. Is it vh1.com? Oh, I keep forgetting to hit share this tab. Yeah, okay. Rihanna's ex-publicist almost ruined Jay-Z and Beyonce's relationship. What year was this? Not they put at the end of this article, get your life. That's so ghetto. Even though he did say, you know, that he was basically, I have to say allegedly, but that he was basically allegedly coerced into saying that. What year was this? 2015. Because I think this was all happening around the same time. Oh my god, those ugly ass Temu dreads. I cannot stand it. Seriously, I cannot. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some more research because I wanted to find the year. I think it was 2005, but I just wanted to confirm it. Like, again, you know what? Can I make this bigger? No, okay. When I look at this picture, I don't think I have ever seen Jay-Z look that calm and happy in any photo with Beyonce. He always looks angry. Like, I don't want to be taking a picture with this bitch every time. What I've noticed about Jay-Z is that when it came to Rihanna and Aaliyah, in every photo with them, he looks extremely happy. Extremely. Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, I remember that. The disturbing death of Jay-Z's mistress about Kathy White. I'm definitely going to continue that live. Part 2 of that. I'm trying to see if they mention a year. But it just said early 2000s. Man, I wanted to find out the exact year, but I want to say it was like 2000 because it's weird that he all of a sudden a few years later decided to step down as president. And then keep in mind that Lear Cohen originally was the president of Def Jam. The alleged real Becky with the good hair. I just have a feeling that something was getting leaked. I really do. They just, see, even here, this is giving couple. I don't look, what y'all think? If you think this picture and the pictures he's in with Rhianna are giving couple, put a Y in the chat. I feel like, and then just as a spiritualist, energetically, yeah, I don't care if nobody say them niggas was fucking. Allegedly. I gotta say allegedly for YouTube. But on a spiritual level, I feel like they definitely was more than just friends. Like, in my opinion. For real. Yeah, this is not feeling platonic whatsoever. This is definitely feeling like a dude with a side chick. It does to me. It does. Okay, let me get into this before I show the morbid melon video. So this is to address hold on, let me pause. So for those that were in the chat, because for some reason I'm having trouble logging into Instagram from my laptop, because I was going to actually show y'all the two videos. They were like, one I think was like 20 seconds, the other one's like 30 seconds. But these fake ass preachers that are sitting up here lying and exploiting the members for money. The real scammers are the preachers. Talking about a seed offering and tithing and all this bullshit that has to do with sacrifice, which all have origins in Freemasonry and Luciferianism as well as Satanism. Pretty much a lot of what goes on in the church, especially black churches, believe it or not, is very satanic. And exploiting the members for money is like the highest level of blasphemy, because you know damn well God doesn't need money. God's not a human being. God is an eternal spirit, a frequency in heaven that has nothing to do with our human lives on this planet. And me growing up, being a former preacher's daughter, me growing up in the apostolic Pentecostal churches, they were just like this, where they would rebuke you in front of it, like they would embarrass you. That's what they call rebuking, is essentially embarrassing you in front of the whole congregation. This woman donated $1,200 and he went off on her because he's like, I told you $2,000. This type of shit is why I don't fuck with churches at all. And me knowing the truth of the fallacy of religion is why I don't do religion. Like these pimping ass pastors, these fake ass prophets and fake ass prophetess talking about sow seed offerings. I remember when I did that. The last church I was a member of during the pandemic in Florida, I donated over $5,000 in a matter of months. Didn't even know I was donating that much. Not to mention the pastor had a boutique. I would purchase the clothes from her boutique, which were not cheap. I would model the clothes because I had my beach body. Then I was super small. And then I would like shoot videos, edit them into reels. And I even made commercials for her. Like I actually edited commercials for free. I did all this for free because I was a member of the church. And then I offered to assist them with their TV broadcast that they were trying to get started, all for free. And I remember she would teach the concept of the prosperity preaching. And if you sow a seed of $100, God's going to give you back $3,000. I remember the brainwashing when we used to really believe that shit. So to see this still going on is disgusting. These pastors go through training. A lot of them go to seminaries. My former stepdad was a preacher. We had a church growing up. Like in our church, we didn't do this bullshit. I was 13 when I was 12 when we started our church. And when I was 15, I worked at McDonald's and I went to high school and I worked in my mom's catering business. That's how I became a chef. I've been cooking since I was 12 with our catering business. We did everything just as a family. Me, my mom, my former stepdad, and my sister. We worked and paid the bills at our church. We didn't rely on our members because we had a small church. Like we didn't do shit like this. And when I see this type of stuff, it angers me because it's like, you know damn well you're fucking lying. You know God don't need your goddamn money. And y'all sitting up here milking the members and lying to them and doing it all in the name of Jesus, the false version of Yeshua, the true Christ. And then you want to sit up here and embarrass this woman. She gave your ass, I wish I would give another church a fucking dime. $1,200? Like, this shit is ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Let me play this little clip.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of Perfected Church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus.
And by the way, this is Marvin Winans, who's related to BB and CC Winans, who I sang with in the mass choir at our convention. I have sang with a lot of famous gospel singers growing up. Kirk Franklin, Hezekiah Walker, Fred Hammond, John P. Key, all of them. In BB and CC, and I also sang with Yolanda Adams. This motherfucker knows exactly what he is doing. And this is the bullshit that they do in churches. This is the fallacy. When you are the sheep, just blindly following the leader and not researching. Like, I actually researched the origins of tithing. Has nothing to do with God at all. It had everything to do with politics and finances, capitalism, and making sure that the preacher can keep driving all his fancy cars and live in his fancy house. Like I said, when we had our church, we had a regular ass house in the suburbs. My former stepdad drove a fucking Toyota Honda. And me and my sister as teenagers, I worked at McDonald's, she worked at Wendy's. We saved up our little bit of money and we put our money from our fucking high school jobs into our church. Me, my mom, my sister, my former stepdad, we paid the rent and the bills. In fact, I worked in the office. I was the accountant. I did the books. Like, this shit is bullshit. This is literally bullshit. I wish I would go to a church and give them $1,200 and have the damn pastor embarrass me. I would cuss his out in Jesus' name in front of all them fucking people and walk smooth the fuck up out of there and never return. This is some bullshit.
1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
I mean, he didn't even be like, thank you. You were supposed to add another 1,000. She said, well, I'm gonna work on the other 800. She probably can barely pay her fucking rent. I remember when I did that shit in Florida, I'm like, bruh, we got furloughed due to the pandemic. We did not get Ron DeSantis held our unemployment benefits for what was it, 3.5 months, because he was collecting interest on all of the unemployment benefits that were coming in. By the time we got our unemployment from getting furloughed, I got a huge lump sum. And I remember doing this. I remember taking like large amounts of money, CASHAPPing the pastor $100, $200, $300, planting seed offerings. Oh, we're short on our bills. You know, she would tell us to the church members, we need $100 more so we can make sure we cover the electric bill. We need $500 more so we can make sure we cover the water and the gas and the rent because we have moved into a bigger building. Again, I grew up in church. So, you know, when you grow up in church and you're a pastor's daughter, yeah, you give everything to God. That's how they brainwash you, that you're giving to God. So if you give to God, God will bless you that much more according to your giving. And I do my own taxes. So at the end of the year, I did my tax return and I calculated my charitable giving. I had donated $5,554 in like 4 months. I was like, how the fuck did I spend all this shit on this church? And I started going through my transactions because I had my credit cards were in good standing, my credit cards, my Cash App account, my regular bank account, like just sending money, giving money. And when it was all said and done, because I was living in Florida with my ex at our condo, we broke up, but I was still staying there. He was supposed to pay the rent and I was going to pay all the utilities since he was away and I was still there. He didn't pay the rent. Condo was in his name. They had that no eviction moratorium. Ron DeSantis lifted that shit. They filed an eviction against my ex. And we had to move all of our shit out of there. When that shit happened, do you know that church didn't do a goddamn thing for me? The only thing they let me do was use a church van to move my stuff. And I had to go through the Homelessness Housing Alliance that was aiding and assisting people that had gotten displaced due to the pandemic. They helped me to find a new apartment. I had got a new job. The week that I started training, they found me a new apartment. I got approved for the apartment. And then they used St. Vincent de Paul to help me with the down payment, or not down payment, the deposit. And then they paid the first month's rent for me. The church that I donated and did all that, you know, free marketing, free commercials, free advert, didn't do a goddamn thing. But they would do this bullshit all the time. And when I reached out to the pastor, because it hurt my feelings, because I cried when I talked to them people at St. Vincent de Paul, because my uncle had also just died from COVID when I was going through this shit. And the church didn't even fucking help me. And I sent a text to the pastor like, you know, it just really hurt my feelings having to explain to St. Vincent de Paul. They asked me, was I a member of a church? I said, yeah, and I made excuses. Well, you know, we lost our membership, went down because of the pandemic, and, you know, the church is struggling. Nah, them motherfuckers just didn't care. But they cared as long as I was feeling money and offerings and seed offerings and tithing, all shit that has nothing to do with God. But it has everything to do with them capitalizing off of your belief in God. That is blasphemy. This woman gonna tell me, because she called herself a prophetess, the pastor, she gonna tell me we're builders, not babysitters. That was her response. And I had told her that my uncle had just died from COVID. My uncle that raised me. My uncle who was the only preacher I knew who wasn't like this, who actually helped people, who rescued children who had been survivors of sexual abuse, who rescued children who had been trafficked through CPS and the foster system. That's why there were so many foster kids in our home. I was like, really? My uncle that raised me, who was my other father, that shit broke my spirit when he died, because I couldn't even go home for his funeral because I was going through that shit. Didn't do nothing. So I left that church. I got my apartment. The day I moved in, I got a call from the car dealership that I had applied for a car at Kia. And they were like, we can put you in a brand new car, no down payment, you know, because I had raised my credit score. I actually used my credit cards the right way to build my credit up to like 800, my credit score. And on that Monday, I moved into my apartment Saturday. That Monday, they came in the car, they picked me up, took me to the dealership. I got approved. All I had to pay for was my insurance to drive the car home. The same car they picked me up in, I drove home. And I was crying in tears. I couldn't believe just how quick God had turned things around. See, when people count you out, Asheo, when they count you out and they do some fucked up shit, God will always step in and do it anyway, without them. And I was really close to quite a few of the sisters at that church. One of them I was really good friends with. And she was like, you know, we haven't seen you. And I told her what happened. I told her because I didn't even tell. That's how loyal I was. I didn't even badmouth the pastor to none of the members. I just stopped going and stopped talking to everybody. Because I'm Scorpio. When I cut you off, I'm just done. And she called me. She was like, sis, come back. You know, we miss you, whatever. I told her what happened. She was like, I cannot believe she did that to you. She was like, that is so messed up. Come to find out later on, she ended up doing the same thing to her. When her and her kids was going through it, they didn't do nothing to help her. And when I came back to that church, God was like, go and show them what I did. I pulled up in that car. I was playing Ty Trebet's Work It Out. That's why I be playing them songs now. That's what's kept me through all the hard times, was my gospel music. I pulled up and the pastor looked. She was like, whose car is that? I said, mine. Because when I was a member there, I was driving my ex's mom's 1995 Chevy Silverado. Like, she like, whose car is that? I said, mine. She was like, yours? I said, yeah, God opened up a door. I said, oh, and I got my new apartment too. She was like, for real? I said, yeah, God made a way. Again, just to show you that you can do some fucked up shit and God will still, without your ass, God will provide. And they do bullshit like this. They prey on people's belief in God for profitable gain. That is blasphemy at one of the highest orders. And these types of crooked ass, fake ass pastors, fake ass prophets, fake ass prophetess, lying about seed offerings, lying about tithing, lying about offering, every one of y'all gonna stand before God because you know exactly what you're doing. It's not like you don't know. You know what you're doing. And that's why, like, this one lady in the comments, I hope she's watching, she said that her and her kids went through something just like what I went through, and her church didn't help her either. And I was like, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but this is why we need to know the truth. And the truth of the matter is, every religion has a foundation in Freemasonry. The King James Bible was written by a Freemason. So people need to really, really, truly understand what you're saying you're worshiping, because you just might be worshiping Lucifer and don't know it. Like, literally, Lucifer was a fallen angel that transformed into an angel of light and deception. So it would make sense. God, I wish people would shut the hell up. It would make sense, you know, for people to just blindly follow it. Yeah. No, I don't want to join. Can you get off my screen? Thank you. Yeah, let me show y'all. So this Holy Bible, notice how it says Masonic edition. Okay. No, I don't want the definition. I'm trying to show them about King James, which that was supposed to be in here. Okay. Here we go. So the creation of this special edition of the Bible began in the late 18th century. An English Mason wanted to write a book that would serve as a symbol of Freemasonry. Now, this is, you know what? This didn't show me what I wanted it to. There we go. Okay, I'm not finna read through all that. I should have saved that link from the last live. There we go. I need to favorite this. That way I don't lose it for next time. Yeah, the king who authorized the King James Version of the Holy Bible was a Freemason. Again, this is exactly what they sent me back here to expose. Oh, let me take my sleep aid. I didn't realize those after all. And all of this goes in alignment with the satanic rituals as well. These pop-ups are annoying. Yeah. The king who authorized the King James Version of the Holy Bible was a Freemason. And why do you think they're always passing out the King James Version of the Bible with their evangelists, and specifically, especially in black churches? King James VI of Scotland, also known as King James I of England and Ireland, widely known and remembered for commissioning the King James Bible or authorized version of the Bible, was a Freemason. The oldest existing record of Lodge Scone in Perth No. 3 in Perth, Scotland, called the Mutual Agreement of December 24th. Isn't that right before Chowder Mass? Hold up. Let me pull up the ritual calendar. I could have sworn that was right before Chowder Mass, which is a satanic holiday. Wait, let me zoom out. This is a satanic ritual calendar. Let's scroll down to December. Yep. Wait, there's two. Wait. So December 24th, let's zoom out. December 24th is their satanic holiday. Demon revels, demure, high grand climax, and demure is the satanic ritual. Any age, male or female, human and or animal. They don't just sacrifice humans, they sacrifice animals too, and they do it through satanic sexual rituals as well. Notice how on Christmas Eve, blood ritual, receive body parts as Christmas gift. Infant male are the victims. And this was, I hope y'all can see the correlation here with the Freemasonic Bible and the satanic ritual calendar. See, you need to research the shit you follow in churches. The other reason my family don't like me, because even though I was a preacher's daughter, I was researching this shit when I was 11. I was going to the library and looking for missing books of the Bible, and that's when I came across the Apocryphas, which are missing books of the Bible, by the way. And I started studying this. Freemasonry, the Illuminati. My third eye unlocked when I was 11. I don't know why I was into this. Probably because of the stuff my grandpa would tell us about. But I was really into this. And my mom and my former stepdad were like, how did you find this out? I was like, I don't know. I guess, God just gave it to me to research this. But a lot of what you follow in churches is very much so Luciferian and satanic. Which is why, reading is very fundamental, and you should truly research the foundation of your religion before you practice a religion. Guess what else is practiced? Witchcraft. Yeah, so just understand that. So yeah, the agreement on December 24th reveals that James was an entered apprentice Mason and fellow craft Mason. Now, after the 24th, on the 27th, the feast of St. John the Apostle. You know what? And I grew up in the apostolic doctrine where they teach Jesus only. Oh my fucking God, bro. Feast of St. John the Apostle. Celebration, blessing of wine. This is a satanic ritual calendar. Why would they be celebrating the feast of St. John the Apostle? Right after that, Chowder Mass commemorates the day King Herod killed all firstborn. Again, these rituals and all of this shit that's going on, boy. And then this shit with these goddamn churches and skin. And he is a Freemason. If y'all didn't know that, Marvin Wayans is a Freemason. You want to? Can I get the deets on that? The majority of pastors are Freemasons. I actually found out my former pastor Jeremiah Reed was a Freemason, which explained why he did the shit he did. Trying to see if there's receipts. You would be surprised how many pastors are into Freemasonry, y'all. For real, you'd be surprised how many pastors participate in these rituals. Specifically the satanic sexual rituals. Members getting raped, children getting raped, relatives getting raped and molested. It's insane. It's insane. Which is why I'm exposing it. Yeah, records show that James appointed William Shaw in 1583 as the master of the work. That is a title in Freemasonry. So in my past, I've dated men that I didn't know were Freemasons that told me after we were dating, specifically the father of my third baby, because I've had 5 miscarriages as a result of Graves' disease. And my third miscarriage happened on Mother's Day. In fact, right before I first moved to Houston back in 2012. We lost our baby on Mother's Day in 2012, and then we moved to Houston in July because we both used to work for Darden restaurants. So, and we both made trainer, which is why we transferred out here. he didn't tell me until after I lost our baby that he was a Freemason, because we were moving here to move with his family until, you know, we either got our own place or got each other individual places. And he was like, yeah, my dad's a Freemason. My stepmom, she's an Eastern Star, which is the group created for the wives of the Freemasons. He was like, I don't want you to be freaked out. They're good people. And they honestly, they were. I can honestly say that. They have honestly always been good to me, because we lost our baby. And that pregnancy, we knew I was pregnant. So I understand that there are people within that fraternity that are not evil, but the ones at the top of that pyramid, those are the motherfuckers that are, you know, spiritual wickedness in high places. Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness in high places. Why do you think people always use that term, the powers that be? That's a level of demons and fallen angels in hell that live on this earth. That's part of the fallen that were hurled out of heaven with Lucifer, the powers. See, in heaven, they have, the Bible's right, they have that great gulf fixed. Hell is above earth, if y'all didn't know that. It's not below this planet. That's a whole different realm, a whole different dimension. Hell is why do you think in the movies they always show evil Decepticons or evil demons coming out the fucking sky? Because it's above this earth. This earth was hurled far from heaven. When I died and went to heaven, when I came back and I fell for whatever felt like an eternity, you fall back down here. This is real shit. This is not conspiracy. This is legit. This is what they do. Let me show y'all something else. Oh, I might have to close some tabs, yeah, because it's trying to buffer. Okay, let me show you something else about these churches. And then I'm going to show you something about Jay-Z. Like, it's all tying together, all of it. Literally all of it. Okay, I found this when I was researching about the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati, which... can I find that article? Hold on real quick. I think I have that saved in my bookmarks. And it definitely was. Oh, here it is. Oh, I'm so glad I came here. Hold on. Okay. The Council of Nicaea. I discovered this when I was 11 as well. The Council of Nicaea, the pagan emperor Constantine used Christianity to unify church and state. This is the origin of Christianity. Constantine was a pagan Roman emperor who was also a Freemason. Okay, not just King James. Everything that you know about Christian, that's why no, I'm not a Christian, because this is some bullshit. The Council of Nicaea was the first ecumenical council of the Christian church. The council was convened in 325 AD, was assembled by the Roman Emperor Constantine. Okay? About 300 bishops from across the Roman Empire met in Nicaea to discuss theological issues, particularly the teachings of Arianism, as well as they voted on which books of the Bible were going to be included and which ones were going to be taken out, i.e. the apocryphal scriptures, the Apocrypha. And there's actually way more Apocrypha books than the ones that we have out here. When I was 13, I discovered the Apocrypha at the actual public library, and I found all the apocryphal books, like the writings, not online, the physical writings, and read all of them. And I was like, wow, like the book of Tobit, the book of Ezra's, you know, the book of, what's his name? Oh, shoot. It's on the tip of my tongue. Pull it up. It's on the tip of my tongue, and now I have to find it. Now I have to find it because I know what it's. Then there's also a book of Judas in there as well. Hold on. Yeah, because they're saying it's 14 books. Is way more than 14. There's actually thousands, and they're at the Vatican. Where is the list? Okay, the book of Tobit, Judith, Esther, Wisdom of Solomon, the book of Sirach and Ecclesiastes, Baruch, the prayer of Manasseh, the Maccabees. I remember reading the Maccabees, the Ezras. There's another one. But regardless, this is the council where they decided on Christianity and the Bible. And it says one of the most important outcomes of the Council of Nicaea was the formulation of the Nicene Creed, which is still used as a profession of faith by many Christian denominations. I'm going to show you the connection to the Nicene Creed and Freemasonry, because this is exactly why I'm on this planet right now, is to expose this. Oh, stop using touchscreen because it keeps bringing up links I don't want. Now, what's interesting is them calling it the Apostles' Creed. When I just showed you guys that about the apostle celebration during the satanic rituals. So it says the purpose of the Council of Nicaea, Constantine became the sole ruler of the Roman Empire. Keep in mind pederasty. Let's tie all of the sexual rituals, the raping, the abductions. This all ties together. And this is also for those Christians that are homophobic. Let me show you the actual original meaning of homosexuality. Pederasty, aka pedophilia. It is a same-sex relationship between an adult man and an adolescent boy. It has nothing to do with grown-ass adults having consensual sex that are of the same sex. This is the foundation of the word homosexuality. Pederasty, pedophilia. Now, notice ancient Greece comes up first. And notice how it says homosexuality in ancient Greece, pederasty. Like, I really need, especially the black church, I need y'all to like really know the shit you follow, because y'all be hating on gay people and it ain't even about gay people. It's about pedophiles. That is a true definition of homosexuality, is pedophilia, which comes from the word pederasty. Again, ancient Rome. Homosexuality in ancient Rome, again, a practice between an adult male and a boy. This is what this is about. And all of this ties into the satanic rituals. See, sodomy is forced anal rape. It is not consensual sex. It is rape. This is why all of this activity, Diddy, Jay-Z, fucking Epstein, Weinstein, all these disgusting pedophiles, they are committing the true definition of homosexuality when they are having sex with little boys and they're grown-ass men. Roman Polanski that had sex with that 13-year-old girl that Whoopi Goldberg defended and said, well, it wasn't rape. He gave her drugs and it was consensual. She was 13. This is the reason that they do the shit, is satanic rituals. And then you have the very foundation of Christianity being started by a Roman emperor who's also a Freemason. You have the King James Bible written by another Freemason. This is how you end up getting deceived. and falling for bullshit about seed offerings and all this other stuff, because you don't even know the foundation of the religion that you follow, and the religion that you follow have been started by Freemasons. Now, I'm gonna show y'all this, and then I'm gonna move on to the videos, because this is for the benefit of those that we were talking back and forth in the comments on Instagram that were like, hey, I want you to show me. I'm showing y'all right now, literally right now. And one thing I know about Freemasons is that they are required, when they are an initiate, to pledge to Lucifer. It's not a religious thing, but that's a requirement, is for them to pledge to Lucifer. Notice this, Encyclopedia Masonica, Constantine, right here, talking about him being the one that started the Christian church. Let's take a look at what the Red Cross is. It's a Freemasonic organization. Yeah, Red Cross of Constantine, the worldwide order, is known more fully by the title the Masonic and Military Order of the Red Cross of Constantine, and the Orders of the Holy Sepulchre, and of Saint John the Evangelist. Saint John. Satanic holiday. Feast of Saint John the Apostle on the Satanic ritual calendar. And then we have Saint John. But yet the Bible tells you that Saint John baptized Jesus. You know, hey, Zeus, the Greek god. The false Christ. Christ's real name was Yeshua, not Jesus. The Roman Emperor Constantine renamed Yeshua, hey, Zeus. I hope y'all can see that. The Masonic Order of the Red Cross of Constantine appears to have been first organized in the United Kingdom by Charles Sheriff around 1780 AD. The Radcliffe Charter founding the order dates from 1796, but the order was subsequently reorganized in 1804 by Jaguar Wright. During the next 50 years, the order was not very active. Constantine the Legend. Constantine was destined for the College of Emperors, but following the death of his father, he was hailed by the legions, interesting legions, in New York as Augustus, and became the governor of Britain and Gaul. After several successful battles across the Alps and Italy, he eventually established himself as the lawful emperor of both the East and West, and transferred the capital of the emperor to Rome, later to be named after him. This sounds a lot like what President Grab 'em by the Pussy is doing with all these goddamn golden statues over in Gaza. Talking about Trump Gaza #1 with all the goddamn gold imagery of his ugly ass fucking Timu ass wig he be wearing. He was the first Roman emperor to openly encourage Christianity. It says to sanctify the minds of his pagan army, he had made a standard bearing a cross like that seen and ordered it to be carried around before him at wars. Here we go. Come on here. The slowness is getting on my nerves. Really? We just gonna take forever and a day? Like, for real. All right. Again, this is the Red Cross. Red Cross of Constantine. Candidates for this order see how Christianity can be embraced with Freemasonry by learning how the legend of the Emperor Constantine's conversion... Bullshit. He didn't convert to Christianity. He created it to combine politics and religion for dominant power, which is exactly what Trump is doing right now with his fake ass God Bless America Bible. Why do you think he's using Nicki Minaj as a coon to promote his bullshit to deceive a lot of black people? This is what they've done. You want to get ultimate power? Grab all the Christians that don't know that they're following a Luciferian doctrine. That don't know that their religion was created by a Freemason who pledged to Lucifer. Like I said, when I went to heaven, all the shit they showed me, I was like, man, they done lied about every fucking thing. Like, everything I knew, like my whole life, my whole identity, growing up in church, pastor kid, like everything I was taught, I found out was a fucking lie. That's why I'm a spiritualist. That's exactly why I'm a spiritualist. When I went to heaven and had that experience, and it just blew my fucking mind. I was like, wow, it's crazy. But yeah, candidates for this order see how Christianity can be embraced with Freemasonry by learning how the legend of the Emperor Constantine's conversion to Christianity set within Masonic ritual. Let me read that again. Emperor Constantine's conversion to Christianity is set within Masonic ritual linked with the history of the Roman Empire. The same empire that influences and openly embraces pedophilia, aka pedestry, where grown-ass men are fucking little boys. Why do you think the Catholic Church is running rampant with that shit? Why do you think all churches are running rampant with that shit? Because these are the people that created it. So again, before you holier than thou Christians want to bash gay people, understand the actual true definition of homosexuality, that it is indeed pedestry, aka pedophilia, and that your Christian belief was started by a Freemason. The King James Bible started by a Freemason. Satanic rituals celebrating the feast of St. John the Apostle. I'm just saying. You can't say anybody tell you when you die and go to heaven, because I'm going to tell you and show you. That's what I do on my channel. Records show that James appointed William Shaw as master of the work and warden general with the commission of reorganizing the Masonic craft. Again, these are the people behind the Bible. Yeah, the Holy Bible. Freemasons. Then you got the Council of Nicaea with the Roman Emperor, another Freemason that decided on Christianity and, you know, all this bullshit. Yeah. So, you know, I'm just saying. Oh, here we go. And this explains the bullshit of the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost crap, which again, when I went to heaven, God has no humanity. There is no Jesus sitting on the right-hand throne of God. There is no humans. You are a celestial being in heaven. Every being in heaven that I witnessed was celestial. They had zero, there's no gender, there's no race. You just exist in a celestial body. Not even a body, in celestial essence. And some of the beings look like what we would call terrestrial or extraterrestrial. There's all different types of beings in heaven. And there's levels. It's like an elevator in heaven. Same thing with hell on the other side of the Great Gulf. So this whole thing of Christianity and Trinity and Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, the patriarchal perception that God is a father, that God is a man, is bullshit. There's no such thing in heaven. Not from my experience. God is frequency energy. Now this says, during the 4th century AD, there was a controversy within Christianity regarding the nature of the Godhead, specifically the nature of God the Son in relation to God the Father, both of which don't exist in heaven at all. So that's just complete bullshit. One position maintained that through Jesus Christ, that though Jesus Christ was divine, he was not equal to God as he was a created being, but all of us are. We are human and divine. Technically, we're demigods, if you want to be technical. This belief is known as Arianism, named after Arius of Alexandria, named after a man. So again, stop following that bullshit. The other position maintained that Jesus and God are equal, being consubstantial. And this is just bullshit. Literally, this is all lies. None of this exists in heaven at all. Not when I went there. It didn't exist. And I'm really, really just tired of people teaching this shit, knowing that they're lying, and then people falling for it. All of this is why things are so fucked up within these industries. Then I showed you guys on the previous live this bullshit. Yeah, this bullshit. This complete blasphemy. Beyonce mass. Worshiping her. Calling her a god and singing her songs in a church. The mail order bride of Jay-Z. So, yeah. All this deception, all this complete blasphemy God is just, seriously, the whole earth is about to be wiped of all of this shit. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Share screen. Yeah. This is the origin of the concept of our Father for those who may not be able to see. This is realsatanism.info. Temple of love to Satan. People pray. Look at this. It says prayers and rituals. They pray to Satan like Satan is their God. For real. Satanic Our Father. Look what it says. Our Father who art in hell, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven and in hell. Give us this day our daily power. Let us not forgive trespasses. This is some bullshit. Nor those who trespass against us. Do not let us fall before anyone. Deliver us from cowardice. Grant us strength. So, you know, this Our Father shit, Father God shit, this is where the fuck it came from. Again, I've been researching this, y'all, for over 30 years. It all connects. Luciferianism, Freemasonic, Church of Satan, idolatry, sheer idolatry, the lies and fallacy of Christianity started by a Freemason. The lies and fallacy that this is a holy Bible when it's a Freemasonic Bible. The word of God lives in you. That's how come I know the word. I can quote a scripture. I don't even have to look it up because it lives within me. Understand what you are worshiping is more than likely some Luciferian bullshit. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. It really is. And if you don't know that, you will be just like that woman who got embarrassed by Marvin Wayans standing up there giving your money to a church, and that pastor knows damn well that they don't believe that shit. And again, a lot of these pastors do this shit behind closed doors. This is the shit they're really into. I bet y'all didn't even know that the Lord's Prayer had origins from the Church of Satan. Ain't that some shit? The Lord's Prayer has an origin in Satanism. But y'all so holy. But you don't even know what the fuck you following? When I tell you, you better pray for some discernment so that you will not be deceived, you better pray for some discernment. Because boy, I am telling you. I'm telling you. So, yeah, I wanted to cover that because, you know, people are gonna, it's social media. People are gonna go back and forth. But what I'm gonna come to you with always is knowledge. Knowledge and research, not hearsay, not what I think, but what I know, what I've actually researched. Also, not to mention, this is, go back, oh my God, pull up the pyramid. This is the basic Illuminati structure. Let me zoom in. Notice what it says over here on the corner. The black brotherhood, organized Satanism in hubs and the brotherhood. Let me show you something. Okay, that's you, Jay-Z. That's you right there. Okay, this is a Freemasonic service inside of a church. This looks identical to the church I grew up in. The pews, the color of the material, the carpet. I mean, in Omaha, it looked identical to this. Notice the pulpit. They got more than one pulpit. Notice all the Freemasonic gear and the white gloves. And notice that Jay-Z is the only dumbass looking into the fucking camera. But you're not a Freemason? My ex, his dad, all of them, I seen this shit in all of they house, all of their stuff. Yeah. But you're not into Freemasonic shit? You're not a Satanist? Let me show y'all something else. This is why I know Jay-Z's going down. Because you have been perpetrating Aleister Crowley for a very long time. Yeah. Do what thou wilt. This is the clothing line he started back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I remember this. Run This Town. He was wearing this. And ironically, that's the song he made with Kanye and Rhianna. Do what thou wilt. And he had an actual clothing line. Do what thou wilt. He is a mentee of Aleister Crowley, the founder of the Church of Satan. And that is, pretty much a symbol. And yeah, that's Aleister Crowley. And this is Baphomet, one of the gods of child sacrifice, the Sabbatic goat. Sabbat festival means Baphomet festival. Jonathan, hey, I'm going to pull up that video. He talked about being invited to a party of Jay-Z's as a super producer. And when he walked into the party, he alleges that Jay-Z had a gigantic Baphomet statue. Why would you have a Baphomet statue at a fucking party if you're not doing satanic worship? If you're not worshiping Baphomet, why is Baphomet at a music party? Like, literally, why? I mean, to my knowledge, I don't, recall ever being told that, you have to party with Baphomet. Yeah, Jay-Z's Run This Town and the occult connection. There he is again with Rhianna and Kanye, because they did this song together. And there he is. Yeah. The video to Run This Town was directed by Anthony Mandler, who also did Rihanna's Disturbia video. That video I never liked. It really, truly, for me, was disturbing. It was just very dark and felt very demonic. The least we can say is that Mandler certainly knows how to insert dark symbolism into the video. And there he is again. Do what thou wilt. Yeah, there's Aleister Crowley. Do what thou wilt. And he also enjoyed being called the wickedest man in the world. So yeah, Do What Thou Wilt is the official datum of Ordo Templi Orientis OTO. I've heard that OTO in a lot of rappers' songs. And of its reformer, occultist Aleister Crowley, the OTO is a hermetic order modeled after Freemasonry, there it is again, in German Illuminism, aka Illuminati, and teaches its initiates the secrets of the mysteries, Gnosticism, sex magic, aka Thelema, which also is sex magic that was originated by Aleister Crowley. Kabbalah and other occult sciences. Contrarily to Freemasonry, the OTO is, however, based on the law of Thelema. Now, on my lives last year, I delved very deep into Thelema because I realized that when I used to engage, back when I was into swinging and, was exploring BDSM and all that, I experienced what's called subspace, which is when you can ascend spiritually through sex. And I realized the more I was researching Thelema that that's actually what was being done was Thelema, that euphoric feeling, Thelema. And Thelema, let me show y'all. And Aleister. Like I said, this shit goes so deep, bro. Like, the level of deception goes very deep. And I'm really glad that when I was exploring that shit, that even in that, God was keeping me safe. Because I found out later that some of them people engaged in those parties really were doing satanic rituals. They were just doing them privately. They weren't doing them at like the big mansion parties. They were doing them at little private, secret parties. And those particular doms kept inviting me. And then I had a premonition of them doing a satanic ritual where they were carving a portal on a woman's stomach during the sex. And her blood was like activating these demons. It was really creepy. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. Because I'm not about that. I'm a Scorpio, so I was exploring freaky shit. Swinging, group sex, BDSM, kink, like fun shit. Not this dark, demonic bullshit. So yeah, the law of Thelema, established by Aleister Crowley. Oh, and that just reminded me of the conversation in the chat that Jaguar had with me when she came into my chat that day. After I had reviewed that first interview her and Jonathan Hay did on the Blue Couch, when she was talking about the spiritual meaning of squirting, because I'm a multi-orgasmic squirter, and she was like, they were trying to set you up to be a sacrifice. And she was saying, it was like a bunch of stuff she said in that chat, but I will never forget that because I was researching that. I was researching like the spiritual side of squirting. And she was like, yeah, they were trying to set you up to be a sacrifice. That's why they were trying to, get you to engage in that. And then we talked offline too. And it's like, I'm up here thinking back in the day, because this was in 2013. I'm thinking I'm being freaky, and all the while there's people at these parties that are fucking Freemasons and Satanists that are doing private parties where they're actually actively practicing satanic sexual rituals. This is why I'm celibate. I've been celibate for 2 years because I know that sex is a sacred exchange of energy and a soul tie. And when I wasn't healed, I just saw sex as instant gratification. And after being raped, I wanted men to feel like shit, so I would fuck them and leave them. I'm going to be honest. I did. I wanted them to feel as shitty as I did because I wasn't healed. And I look back on this. These people were doing Thelema on me the whole time I was exploring all of that shit. And I had no idea that's what the fuck they were doing. It's real crazy how you be thinking you freaky. And no, these people are using you to do rituals and you don't even fucking know it. It's crazy. So yeah, the law of Thelema, established by Aleister Crowley, emphasizes the principle do without will shall be the whole of the law, which encourages individuals to discover and follow their true will. And then it goes into Thelema is a spiritual philosophy and religious, notice it says religious, movement founded by Aleister Crowley in the early 1900s, and he is the founder of the Church of Satan. So if it's a religious movement, it's a satanic religious movement. That's wild. It emphasizes the discovery and pursuit of one's true will, which is considered a divine purpose in that belief that transcends ordinary desires. The central tenet of Thelema is encapsulated in the phrase, do without wilt shall be the whole of the law. So they're still applying that to Thelema. It's crazy to me, just looking back, like, man, God really was protecting me. For real. This is crazy. So yeah, sex magic is what Thelema is. It's sex magic that they do. And my ex, he was in the music industry. He's from Atlanta. And he was in the music industry in the 90s because he's older than me. And he would tell me about this. Like how certain producers, they would intentionally fuck the artist to control them. To like spiritually control them. So that they could have dominance over them. That's why I do believe the rumors about Jay-Z allegedly, fucking all these young artists that were assigned to him. Because like with Rhianna, that might be why she was so controlled and so quiet, because of the alleged sexual relationship. And he probably, again, he's the mentee of Aleister Crowley. You don't think he was doing sex magic allegedly on these young girls? I definitely believe he was. Now, this is long. I don't want to read all of that. Here we go. Doctrines. The following list of various non-obligatory doctrines, and notice that they're using the word doctrine in this satanic shit, that are found in the Thelemic literature. First among these is the doctrine which describes the holy books of Thelema, where many of the other doctrines can be. They're actually calling this holy. And then look at this, says body of light. And I keep telling you that Lucifer transformed into an angel of light of deception. The body of light is a part of consciousness that leaves the corporeal body and carries your senses and consciousness during astral traveling. That's what happened when we were doing the subspace shit. You travel, you go into the astral realm through the sex. Literally through the sex act, you like ascend spiritually. And for anyone who's ever experienced the Holy Ghost, I ain't gonna lie to you, that's what it felt like. It was very euphoric. It was, honestly, it felt amazing. I ain't gonna lie, it did. But then it got to the point where I was like, even though this feels heightened and it feels good, something about it just didn't feel right. Because again, I at that time did not know that this is what the fuck they were doing to me. I had no idea. So again, when I started researching in 2018, that was 5 years after I left that lifestyle. Well, 4 years, because I was in it for like a year and a half. I was like, I need to know what all of this is about. Yeah, the holy books of Thelema, it's insane to call it holy. The holy books of Thelema are those works of Aleister Crowley penned, but that he claimed were written through him, meaning through a spirit through him and not by him. They therefore are to be considered inspired works. The chief of these books, Liber Al, I don't know what that means, is the only one that involved a voice dictating the text to him. So look, the spirit came upon me and I wrote a number of books in a way which I hardly know how to describe. They were not taken from dictation like the Book of the Law, which is from the Church of Satan, nor were they my own composition. Again, the fallacy of this bullshit, bro. You're calling it holy. What spirit? Because there's a whole bunch of spirits in all types of dimensions. What spirit, sir? You're the founder of the Church of Satan, so it had to be that spirit, and that's crazy. So again, all of this shit going back that Jay-Z's connected to. Do without wilt shall be the whole of the law. And then again, the picture of Baphomet. And notice it says do without wilt. And it says Aleister Crowley in the artistry. It says love is the law. And keep in mind, did he redeem himself love? And that doesn't mean love of God. Love under will. Law. There is no law beyond. What else does it say? Oh, Thelema. Thelema's right here. Can I make this bigger? I wonder if I can zoom in on this. Damn it, I can't. This first ribbon says Thelema. That's crazy. Then Golden Dawn. Then that same Liber, whatever that language is. Notice this abracadabra, and then right below the abracadabra is a 666. True will. That's some other Latin word I can't pronounce. Both of those, all three of those are. Then all the symbolism. Notice the coffin down here. And also notice the Freemasonic tools here. Everything is symbolism. And then OTO at the top. This is the shit that Jay-Z is so into behind closed doors. And really not even behind closed doors. He's actually been open about the whole do as thou will. And it's amazing that he did all of this during the Run This Town with Rhianna and Kanye. Again, I feel like if anybody knows the most about Jay-Z and his alleged dark shit, it's definitely Rhianna. And sir, stop asking why people think you're a fucking Satanist when it's clear that this is your fucking ass in this picture, and this is not AI, because this picture is from like the fucking early 2000s. You are who you are. You are who you are. Just live in your truth. Like, for real. I'm just now seeing y'all's exactly. He's the only one looking dead in the camera and gonna tell the whole world, I don't know why on social media they're calling me a Satanist. I don't know why, it's affecting me and my children. Man, them kids don't know nothing about, I know Blue does, but them kids, nah, bruh, that's who the fuck you are. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop acting like a goddamn victim, bruh. For real. And then this is creepy. There's something to the hand symbols and the symbolism. And everything about this photo is dark. Rihanna's lyrics are announcing an imminent change that might terrify or enrage some people. Hear the screams from everywhere. The torches hint to a new spiritual and philosophical era where Lucifer is king. Y'all do realize that that's what's coming. The mark of the beast, the one world order, the one world currency, the one world religion, the one world God. They're going to try to make everybody bow to Lucifer and Baphomet. Let me show y'all something else before I show you these other videos right quick, since we're on this subject. And what's so crazy is singing with Kirk Franklin during conventions. And Kirk Franklin, what year was that? Because I left Des Moines in 2006, so that had to be either 2003 or 2004 when we sang with Kirk Franklin at our church convention. And allegedly Kirk was caught coming out of, because we had the conventions at hotels, like these gigantic hotels with the big ass convention rooms. Kirk was caught coming out of rooms with teenage boys during service.
Yo, Kirk Franklin, give me 16.
Yeah, this song where he says, the lion and the lamb will bow down to the goat. Why is a man who sings religious songs saying that? Will bow down to the goat? Really? Really, Kirk? Really? Will bow down to the goat. Again, start researching these motherfuckers you hold so dear and follow, because they're all a part of it. Y'all do know that they use religion as the main weapon on your mind to control the minds of the masses. Religion has absolutely nothing to do with God. Confirmed when I went to heaven. And this is fair use for the purpose of me explaining this.
Like Biggie
And then he puts up a Freemasonic hand symbol. Like, run that back. See this okay symbol? That's a Freemasonic hand symbol. Man, no, y'all showing some new shit. I don't care about new trends. I want to get to the Freemasonic hand symbol that shows. And I just now noticed that this one in the middle has the goat in it. But where's the one? This is not it. Okay, that's no. That is not what I wanted. See, on one of my flash drives, I have the actual list. It has every single Freemasonic hand symbol. But the OK symbol is actually, it's a Luciferian symbol. And the fact that this man, who so many people have looked up to as a Christian singer, is singing about the lion and the lamb bowing down to a goat. What Bible the fuck is that in, Kirk? Please name a scripture. The lion and the lamb will bow down to the goat? But you're a gospel singer, and why are you trying to rap? You sound fucking horrible. I can rap better than you. Like, the fuck? Just like this shit here where this motherfucker said he's not a Freemason publicly, but you're clearly in Freemason gear in this damn picture. See, we have to wonder why preachers are fucking pimping the church members out. We have to wonder why Kirk Franklin, who has been known for decades for allegedly being a gospel singer, is up here singing about the lion and the lamb will bow down to the goat. And what I know about the goat is Baphomet. The same deity that Jaguar got a tattoo of because she said she needed that tattoo to gain access, allegedly, into certain places and spaces. There's a reason these people in the industry all center around Satanism, Freemasonry, and fucking Baphomet. And it has everything to do, again, the Black Brotherhood, organized Satanism, and hubs, and the Brotherhood. Again, this is the Illuminati pyramid. Notice at the bottom over here, novice witch and knights. Above that, fellow craft practicing witch, patriarchs, Knight of Pelican and Eagle 5. Above that, Skull and Bones, Knights Templar. And the Knights Templar originally were the knights that were charged with protecting the bloodline of Christ, Yeshua, the true Christ. They were infiltrated by the Illuminati. Skull and Bones, Master Witch, Master or Illuminatus Minor 3 degree, Illuminatus Major, Sisters of Light. I got invited to join the Sisters of Light on Facebook by my ex, the one I lost the Mother's Day baby by. His stepmom, who we moved in with, she was part of the Sisters of Light. I didn't even know back in the day what the fuck that meant when we moved in with them. I had no idea. She invited me to join the Sisters of Light group on Facebook. They were trying to recruit me to become a Eastern Star. Even though I'm not married and I don't have a Mason, boyfriend or husband, but just off the strength that I lost a baby with my ex, and he was a Mason and his father's a Mason and she was an Eastern Star, she tried to recruit me to that. Again, looking back, seeing how the Most High was protecting me and my angels and ancestors and spirit guides. Because what if I would have joined that believing it was something positive and godly? That's the whole concept of Lucifer being an angel of light that is an angel of deception. Asmodeus, Grand Inspector, the Red Brotherhood, Mother of Darkness, Grandmother. See, everybody that used to call me a conspiracy theorist on Facebook, because I know y'all be watching, I bet y'all feel stupid as hell right now. Because everything I talk about, I show. All of my research. The Kennedy bloodline, one of the 13 satanic bloodlines that rule the world. This is dated March 20th, 2016. March 20th is also on the satanic ritual calendar, because I do believe that is their spring equinox, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, spring equinox. And look, Sabbatic Goat Baphomet Festival, major fertility Sabbat, which means they're having orgies with Baphomet. Oral, anal, vaginal, any age, male or female, animal and or human. And on this day as well, notice it says Shrove Tide 3 days before Ash Wednesday, which is a witch Sabbat Goat Festival. Notice also Good Friday, Day of Passion, Death of Christ, Blood Ritual, Human Sacrifice, male only adult, mocking the Christ crucifixion. And then Easter Eve, Blood Ritual, Human Sacrifice. Again, it's all connected. All of it is fucking connected. It's not a conspiracy, it's real. And once you start making the connections, once you see, you can't unsee. The concept of Illuminati bloodlines was popularized by Christian Illuminati. Notice it's a Christian. Oh my God. It's a Christian Illuminati researcher. I'm just saying. Fritz Springmeier in his book Bloodlines of the Illuminati. Springmeier utilizes the same elements common to all Illuminati conspiracies, but adds his own spin. 13 generational satanic bloodlines ruling all other elite groups and secret societies from the top of their pyramid of power. This is where I found the damn pyramid, was off of that website. And notice at the top of the pyramid, this is where spiritual wickedness in high places dwell. Again, the lower levels are just pawns on a chessboard. They have no idea how they're being played. But the ones at the top, they know what the fuck they're doing. And it says special positions, priest. Y'all might not be able to see. This is the most I can zoom in. But right here it says priest at the top. Priest, kings, special councils and committees. At the very top, the Great White Brotherhood. So again, all this deceptive ass shit tied up in religion, you better know God for yourself. That's what true spirituality is. It's having a relationship with the Most High God that has nothing to do with any other person. It's just you and God. Both times I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer because it went into remission and then it came back. That is when I realized who God is. God is a frequency that dwells within you. It's not a deity or a being that you pursue externally. It's an energy and a frequency that you tap into. Now, I want this to...
I had to become a Freemason because you...
Pause. This is a short that I edited a while ago. I originally saw... Okay, pause. That's so annoying. I originally... Oh my God, YouTube. Stop automatically playing the fucking video. That's super annoying. I originally saw this on Orlando Brown's Instagram, And then so like this video is my, like even the intro, this is my edit. I re-edited it because it was very intriguing and it applies to my exact research. But he says in order to become, let me rewind it because it's just gonna automatically play it. Hold on.
I had to become a Freemason because you can't get involved in Satanism on the hardcore level without first being a Freemason.
He said I had to become, this is a guy who was he's an ex-Satanist turned preacher. He said in order to become a hardcore, I had to become a Freemason. In order to become a Satanist at the hardcore level, you cannot do that without first being a Freemason.
That was my official shrine portrait, which they took as part of my initiation. I was ready to become involved in hardcore Satanism. What did that mean? Well, that meant I had to sell my soul to the devil.
Hold on, I'm gonna temporarily pause the background music. Hold on, because I want y'all to be able to hear this video, because I edited the music into the video too. Because this is some real shit. Like, this would explain why the Vatican is the way that it is.
I had to become a Freemason because you can't get involved in Satanism on the hardcore level without first being a Freemason. That was my official shrine portrait, which they took as part of my initiation. I was ready to become involved in hardcore Satanism. What did that mean? Well, that meant I had to sell my soul to the devil. I had to sign my name on the contract in blood. I had to sign my name in the black book.
I had to sell my soul to the devil. This is what he's saying. I had to sign my name in blood. I had to sign my name in the black book. This is how they sell their souls. For those that were in the comments arguing about, you can't sell a soul. Yes, the fuck you can. If you align with Satanism, you absolutely can sell your soul. And in exchange, you're supposed to gain wealth and power and fame on a condemned planet. I'm just saying, this shit's wild.
Understand something? The satanic doctrine here is that hell is not what we believe it is, or
True.
what the Bible teaches it is.
Right.
The satanic doctrine is that hell is this incredible party. It's like a non-stop, all-eternity orgy. So you're smoking dope, you're fornicating your brains out, you're listening to rock and roll through all eternity. And it's party hardy. Before I could get onto the priesthood of Satanism, excuse me, I had to get 7 people to sell our souls to the devil. The other thing I had...
Notice he said I had to get 7 people to sell our souls to the devil in order for him to become a Satanist.
Doing this might astonish.
So again, that's the foundation. The term sacrifice, and that includes offering, tithing, giving of harvest, the false story in the Bible about Abraham and Isaac, and how, God told Abraham to sacrifice his son, and how he, according to faith, was willing to sacrifice his son. The concept of sacrifice has everything to do with Satanism. The Most High God in heaven doesn't require a sacrifice from us. Romans 12:1 says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. That means you align with the frequency of God. So you know that you're going to be a target. That is... You know what I'm saying? Like, it's this whole sacrificing people, sacrificing animals, giving of your harvest, giving of tithe. All of that shit comes from this. All of it. Because when I went to heaven, God is not like, oh yeah, D, how much did you sacrifice? No, the angels weigh out what you did in your human life while you were living. They put it in an angelic chalice and they literally weigh out what you did. But the Most High God doesn't need your money. The Most High God doesn't require any sort of sacrifice other than you sacrificing, giving into this bullshit. This is where, no, God is like, nah, you're not finna be worshiping Satan and Lucifer and Baphomet and Molech and all these other deities when you're supposed to be the manifestation and representation of my energy on that condemned planet.
is I had to become a Catholic priest. I had to go back to my original.
He said, what might also be bizarre to you is that I had to become a Catholic priest. In order to be a hardcore Satanist, he had to become a Catholic priest. He said, I had to go back to my original vocation. This shit is wild, bro.
Vocation. Because you cannot be a satanic priest unless, first of all, you're a Catholic.
You cannot be a satanic priest unless you're, first of all, a Catholic priest. I am going to, before I get any older, I am going to figure out a way to get into the Vatican. Because the Vatican has all of the actual apocryphal missing books of the Bible. The Vatican has a lot of secrets, and from what I have researched, there are tunnels beneath the Vatican where alleged satanic rituals go on, human sacrifice and sexual sacrifice. I believe this guy 1000%.
Priest. And if that surprises you, I just suggest that you go and you read some of the medieval literature.
So yeah, why do you gotta be a Catholic priest to be a Satanist? Why is the Catholic Church known for running rampant with pedophiles, sacrificing little boys, pedestry, grown ass, fucking popes and shit, fucking little boys? Why is everything to do with Satanism have also to do with Christianity? And why do people blindly follow it? Then we got the 13 bloodlines. I remember hearing about this in the late 90s. Like I said, I first heard about blood sacrifice on MTV Underground and VH1 Underground, when they had all those underground artists. In fact, when Aaliyah died, that's really when that shit popped off on the underground, radio stations and shit. Because that was way before YouTube and social media. They would talk about all the people in the industry that were forced to be a part of blood sacrifices. That's also why I was researching this shit when I was a teenager. So we have the 13 generational satanic bloodlines ruling all other elite groups and secret societies, specifically Freemasons, from the top of the pyramid of power. All members of the Illuminati are Satanists. All members of the Illuminati are subject to trauma-based mind control, aka sodomy, aka pedophilia, aka rape. Satanic sexual ritual abuse is done to control the mind, to keep your mind bound, to keep you in a low frequency, to keep you in a low vibration so that they can control your mind and keep you in a state of fear. This is why I'm praying for Jonathan Hay. This is exactly why I'm praying for him, because I could feel all of his fear on that video that I showed you guys on the last live. I could feel that trauma, that mind control, that MK Ultra shit behind the abuse. It's done to control your mind. When someone rapes you, they activate your kundalini in the most low vibrational way possible. Your sacral chakra, where your genitals are directly connected to your throat chakra. And also to your crown chakra. There's a certain part of the brain that is chemically activated when you are sexually abused. And it automatically triggers low frequency demonic energy, like the spirits of depression. And on The Conjuring, the beginning of that movie where the Warrens said what leads to possession is the spirit of depression and oppression. That's very real. Like I told you guys, I successfully cast demons out of people back in the day when I was a member of that church and would go and cleanse. I successfully performed exorcisms, would cleanse demons out of places, out of people. In every one of those situations, those people were always either sexually or physically abused. And they were always in the frequency of depression. So that's why you really do have to fight through depression to elevate your frequency and get up out that energy. because that's what leads to demonic possession. And that's the whole point of them doing the trauma-based mind control, the MK Ultra, essentially. All members of the Illuminati have multiple personality disorder. I don't know if that's true, but it probably is, especially considering the abuse and the trauma shit that they go through. When a member of an Illuminati bloodline reaches the age of 3, he or she is taken to meet an Illuminati grandmother on the hierarchy level of the pyramid, at the top of the chain, from the witches. Notice it starts with novice witch, craft practicing witch, master witch, sisters of light, mothers of darkness, grandmother. Interesting that it's called grandmother. But yeah, he or she is taken to meet an Illuminati grandmother, a high-level satanic priestess. This is why I make sure to specify that I am a high vibrational high priestess, which means that I don't do this shit. I use my gifts to help people heal and to awaken them to ascend so that they can know that God dwells within us. Ascension is simply that, you tapping into the frequency of the Most High God, not any of these earthly fucking deities that are already condemned. But a lot of people fall into that fallacy because they feel like, well, I want money and wealth and fame, and then they get it and realize how empty that shit is. And that's why they end up doing shit like drugs or just doing stupid shit because, okay, you got it and now you're still not happy. Because now you done lost your soul. Well, but it profit a man that gain the whole world and lose his own soul. These meetings are held twice a year and are attended by all Illuminati families and their mothers of darkness. Again. So they got both of the top levels of witches in the hierarchy level attending this shit to approve of children when they reach the age of 3. The grandmother examines and evaluates 7, and notice it's 7. And remember what the ex-Satanist just said on the short that I edited on that's on my channel. You can go look at it on my channel. Notice it's 7, like what he just said. He had to get 7 people to sell their souls. And now here we have the Illuminati grandmother is examining and evaluating 7 Illuminati children. If the child is worthy of entry into the Illuminati, he or she is assigned to one of the Illuminati bloodlines. For each approved child, another is sacrificed, and his or her blood is used to write the name of the newly approved Illuminati child. Now, remember, he just said he had to sign his name in blood. And keeping in mind that video I showed you guys on the last live of the lady in Africa, not the last live, but the one before, the African survivor from Epstein Island, she said that that Jay-Z allegedly has child safaris in Africa that are owned by him and Epstein and other celebrities where they shoot, kill, and hunt children and then do satanic rituals with them afterwards. And she said for the children that don't survive the rituals, their bodies are used in the satanic ritual, like that their bodies are used as a sacrifice. So this is where I found this image of the basic Illuminati structure pyramid. And like I said, I always save them as PDFs so I can zoom in. But yeah, this shit is, y'all look, again, if I was you, and this is just my opinion, you don't have to follow it. I think I would get rid of following religion, and I would you need to start just tapping. You can tap directly into the Most High God. You honestly don't need a church. You don't need a religion. But for those who want to do it, I get it, because you want that sense of community. But please research, because a lot of this shit is very demonic. Very. And it has nothing to do with God. It has everything to do with controlling your mind through rituals. And then you got people like Marvin Wayans out here false prophets, crooked as fuck, controlling the minds of people, telling people to, donate their money to get closer to God when God does not even need money because God is not a human being. Like, critical thinking, when you're brainwashed, you never even stop to think about that. Why would God need your money in heaven where money has no value and doesn't even fucking exist? Like, really think about that. Heaven is a heavenly, there's no earth, there's nothing there. There's no earth. Therefore, there's no need for money. But they teach that shit to deceive you and to keep you mentally bound. And it's horrible. It's really fucking horrible that people don't pay attention to that and they just blindly follow shit. Now, I'm going to show you guys,
put it.
Hold on. I want to show you guys a little bit of this video, and then I'm going to show you the Morbid Melon one, then I'm going to end the live because my sleep aid is starting to kick in. Okay, so this is the video Jonathan Hay did on October 13th on Real Life Street Stars. This is when he first, was public on this platform. Rhianna ex-publicist Jonathan Hay alleges that he raped his mouth. I can still taste his dick. And the only reason why the part that made me laugh is like, why did they have to add the I can still taste his dick? It's like, it's not that the act is funny, but the way it's worded, it kind of takes away the seriousness of what really happened to him. But this is him talking about his experience going through that. And the fact that people are just so quick because he's a man to dismiss his allegations is actually quite disturbing. Like, it really, really is. Neptune. Oh, there's a whole bunch of comments I missed. Hold on. Let me look at y'all's comments real quick. Because when I'm sharing screen, I can't actually see y'all's comments. Hold on. Andrew said, yeah, send money. They need new... Exactly. The money is for the people. It has nothing to do with God at all. I know that's right. And thank you to those of y'all that are tuning in for the first time. Y'all don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and turn on your notifications. Matthew said, these people are not men of God if they're demanding money from the people in the church. Exactly, because God does not need your money at all. Again, this is why I'm constantly talking about this. I really want people to wake up and stop allowing yourself to be deceived. My late grandfather, who was a reverend, was a Freemason too. At his wake, they actually had a Freemason. Oh yeah, they do that. If they're a Freemason, they do all the Freemasonry like rites and all that stuff at their funeral. That's interesting. You probably didn't know this, but I come from a long line of Freemasons. My paternal grandfather and great-grandfather were Freemasons, and my maternal grandfather that I mentioned earlier, who was a reverend, was a Freemason too. That is interesting. That is wrong. Baby, you can't tell me nothing about my experience in heaven. If you want to believe some bullshit, you go right ahead. But you don't have the right to tell me that my experience was wrong because you weren't there. So you're one of the people that I'm talking about that's brainwashed and deceived. You might want to pray for some discernment. How are you going to tell somebody who's experienced heaven what heaven and hell is, and you haven't even experienced it? You might want to check your ego and do some research before you come to my live with that bullshit. Until I was subscribed to your channel, I had no idea Freemasonry was tied to the information that you've been researching, which is exactly why I'm researching and showing y'all so that people can wake up. No, it's funny about that. My mom had me memorize the Lord's Prayer when I was 13 years old. Me too. Hell, we used to sing the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be. Like, what they had us sing that in church all the time. So like I said, it is wild, man. When that third eye unlocks and you start seeing things for what it really is, it's quite disturbing how much we've been lied to. He said, when I was 13, my mom... Oh, okay. Sorry, that must have been typed twice. Yeah, definitely was the only one looking in the camera like a fucking idiot. Yeah, the actual communion came from the Church of Satan too. Drinking of blood, yeah, that's definitely right up there with the satanic rituals. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I typed in communion and the satanic practices. The first thing that came up was Black Mass. Yeah, communion with demons, which is also on the satanic ritual calendar. Hold on, I wanted to find that. You know, maybe it is under the Black Mass. I think it is. No, get off the screen. Oh my God, I don't care. Get off the screen. Okay, around Halloween, they do Black Mass, and they're talking about its relation to Catholicism. Black Mass is a ceremony typically celebrated by various satanic groups. It has existed for centuries in different forms and is directly based on a Catholic Mass. And they do communion of blood during the Catholic Mass. However, a Black Mass takes the Catholic Mass and inverts it, intentionally mocking the Catholic celebration. Participants often use a consecrated Eucharist host and desecrate it, using it in obscene ways. This is one of the reasons why tabernacles in Catholic churches have locks and why some parishes have an usher stand next to a communion line. Interestingly enough, former Satanist Betty Brenham said in a talk that many Satanists and witches know the difference between a consecrated host and an unconsecrated host. Being able to sense the presence of God is a consecrated host. She claims that if 1,000 hosts were put on a table, the Satanists would be able to find the one that was consecrated. Interesting. A Black Mass will often include priestly vestments and the recitation of Latin prayers, altering the Latin to be focused on Satan instead of God. So again, communion and Mass and all of that definitely has a lot of root and foundation in Freemasonry and in Satanism. So yeah, again, a lot of this shit that I found out, bro, that they practice in these churches is so satanic, it's insane. Yep, me too. I stopped following when I had my experience where I died and went to heaven, that was in 2008. And keep it in mind, I grew up in apostolic Pentecostal churches and a preacher's daughter. So for me to like abandon everything I knew and everything that I come from is also why I keep telling y'all I'm the black sheep of my family that nobody fucks with. Because my relatives ain't ready for this shit. They're not ready to accept that the entire foundation of what we've been taught is a lie. So they'd rather go along with it. You know. Let me go along to get along. So I'm not the outcast. I've been the outcast. And I'm okay with that. Because if I can wake people up, which is my spiritual job, then hey, I've completed my mission on this planet. So again, fair use. I want y'all to hear what Jonathan had to say. Now, we're not going to watch this entire live. This is at 17 minutes. But I want to show y'all a little bit of it. Let me backtrack a little bit.
But, you know, the judge made the right call. So, I mean, the judge made what he felt was the right call. So, you know, you just have to accept it.
Right. There's a lawsuit, and it's the Biggie's son Jay Wallace lawsuit, right? Are you the John Doe?
I am. So let's, you know, if you remembered from our interviews in the past, I would talk about, CJ Wallace working with Biggie's son, CJ Wallace working with Diddy and all that. And I think I did one interview where I was like, they need to look into CJ Wallace more, the feds. Remember I said that on your show?
I remember that.
And I was kind of like alluding to that, but I didn't obviously, go into detail about that. And I would see like, some of the comments on all the different platforms that I did, they'd always be like, it seems like he's hiding something. It seems like, there's more to the story. And that's what it was. So, I got a law firm, the Dordick Law Firm. They've handled some of the biggest cases, in history. They have some of the biggest winnings in history. And we filed the civil lawsuit against Sean Combs, against CJ Wallace, against Willie Mack, and Combs Corporations. All of them are listed on the defendants, that's out in public that can see all the defendants listed, right? So that's, and I talked about all those people like on your show before, right? And that's just, we're in the process of it. They had me a John Doe to protect me. The lawyer did, but people have put it together, throughout.
And I just want to pause. This is why I decided to show this video again, because I previously showed this on a live months ago. For those people on the very last video Jonathan Hay did on Real Life Street Stars, for all those people in the comments ripping him to shreds, saying he can't possibly, he's lying, ain't no way he went from being the John Doe to now identifying himself. He decided to take the risk to identify himself so that he could get one, further traction on the case, getting the ball rolling, but also the courage to be like, yeah, I'm the John Doe. That way people don't have to wonder and guess and try to discredit him, like he said, saying, oh, he's hiding something, oh, he's not telling the truth. Again, if you're in the middle of a case, one, there's really not a whole lot you can say or talk about, especially when it's a pending case. And two, if you want people to stop lying on you, yeah, it'd be like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, it's me. It's me. I'm the John Doe. Now y'all can stop speculating. Now y'all can stop calling me a liar. Now you can stop saying that, I'm hiding something. The cat's out the bag. It's me. Now let's move forward with both civil and criminal cases. And honestly, I highly commend him for having the courage to do this, knowing the risk with going public and identifying himself. Because again, people file civil suits as Jane and John Doe to protect themselves, their identity, and their family. So he's putting himself at risk trying to get justice. And I really hope the dumbasses that were in those comments, because I know some of y'all is watching, I hope you now understand, a little bit better why he's handled things. He still has a family to protect, including a granddaughter now. And again, congratulations on that. So it's like, just critical thinking and common sense. Some of y'all don't have it. Y'all just don't. You really don't.
Because in the lawsuit, it talks about me working with Willie Mack and CJ Wallace and Diddy. And so, people aren't dumb. So a lot of people have asked me about it. I've denied it. I haven't spoke about it. But I feel like now's the time to do that and to talk about the lawsuit, because TMZ put it up, all these different outlets put it up, but they just kind of did it for headlines and clickbaits, and
right.
People haven't,
not because they care.
Haven't heard from me to explain and talk about what happened that's contained in the lawsuit.
Right. Jonathan,
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you to do something that's kind of a little hard. I know it's gonna be hard for you, but you know, the people want to know exactly kind of, you know what kind of happened. You know, you sent me paperwork, right? And I read through the paperwork, and I was devastated when I was reading a lot of this stuff. And I wanted to know if you could kind of walk us through what happened. Are you able to do that?
Yes, sir. So we did this.
And I just want to pause. I need people to also understand just how difficult it is to relive a traumatic moment, especially when you have been a victim of sexual abuse. It's so not easy to talk about. And I wish more people would have more empathy. Even if you've never experienced being sexually abused, just try to imagine that happening to you. And then to have people try to invalidate your experience, to have people discredit you, to have people, minimalize, tell you to get over it. Oh, that happened a long time ago. And the trauma is forever. Like, I really hope so bad that the people who are acting like they don't care, that you never, ever, ever become a victim yourself. Because if it ever happens to you, you will fully understand why a lot of people don't come forward, because a lot of people don't believe survivors. And it's really fucked up that the system is made like that, to victim shame or discredit or invalidate, instead of being like, no, let's be there to support these people in their healing. But y'all be wanting to bash and, oh, they're lying, and oh, they who was it, Ray J, that was making fun of Little Rod with the whole, laughing, going viral for laughing, saying Diddy took my ass, I shit when I fart now. Like, that's not funny. That's not funny at all. And I just wonder, well, I know why, but I wonder why people don't look at that with these people that you damn near worship just because they're a rapper or an artist, or they're part of the industry, or they're part of Hollywood. Y'all act like these, just like with Jay-Z and Beyonce. People, especially out here in Houston, they damn near worship. They do worship these motherfuckers. And they're having Beyonce masses at the church she paid for in California, where she's never even been in attendance. We have to wonder why people are being worshipped as idols, and why people who have suffered sexual abuse, who have suffered and survived it, people who have suffered and survived sex trafficking, why their voices are never heard. You know why their voices are never heard? Because if they can stop people from speaking out, they can continue to do the bullshit that they're doing. And I really, really hope that after Jonathan gets his victory, that more people come forward, not the fake ones that's just doing it for clout and lying. I'm talking about actual real survivors. My prayer is that every survivor has the courage to come forward so that they can get justice. Because the only way to stop it is to expose it.
It's Eric B. and Rakim project. That's Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader, Reimagine His Jazz. And that hit, and it was #1 on the Billboard charts for 11 weeks. And so we were looking for another artist to do that similar type of thing. The girl I was dating at the time, her name was Sarah Rushforth. She's from London. We were in Brooklyn, and she said that we should do Biggie. My first response was like, I don't really want to do Biggie. That's predictable. Everybody does Biggie and Tupac. I'd rather do something like along the lines of what we did with like Eric B. and Rakim. Anyways, she talked me into it. But what was weird about all that is, like, looking back, is she told me, she says, if we do the Biggie music, we could get CJ Wallace involved, Biggie's son. And I'm like, how do you figure that? She was like, oh, it's magic. We'll get him. You're a magical person.
Pause. The girl who set him up said it's magic, and as soon as I heard that, I thought about Thelema, the Aleister Crowley fucking magic. Now that Thelema does go beyond just sex. Like, again, it's like I hope you guys can see what I see. I see this gigantic network of people, false beliefs, and systems set in place to keep people trapped and bound in these satanic rituals, in mental bondage from sexual abuse, from MK Ultra, from mind control. And it's sickening. It's sickening to see it's sickening for me to see the manifestation of spiritual wickedness in high places. To see people a part of these industries that are clearly practicing Satanism and also using the vernacular of Satanist. Because why would she say it's magic? It's music. Why would magic be mixed in with music? Maybe because of all this witchcraft and shit. You know, all the organized Satanism in hubs and the brotherhood. That might be why. That just might be why.
So, fast forward today into looking back and going through all the stuff that we went through. That was a setup by her, because she had already known CJ Wallace. And we did this interview that you can see during the pandemic. It's still online, with me, CJ Wallace, Willie Mack, and Sarah Rush. And she, I gave her credit. I was like, it was, you know, her idea. She said she could get CJ Wallace. She suggested that we get CJ Wallace. And then we get him. And at the time, I'm just like, yo, I'm on a hot streak. We just had the #1 jazz album for 11 weeks. Now we got Biggie's son, to support this project, but she already knew him. And she was already a dancer. Like, I met her at a strip club called Platinum Dolls. It's like right when you leave Quad Studios. That's where we recorded a lot of Follow the Leader. You walk directly next door. It's 2 steps over, and you're in the strip club. So that's where I met her. And, I'm sure she finessed me, whatever, and I was a sucker. But over like a 2-week period, we were at the Williamsburg Hotel, and that's when she suggested this idea about doing Biggie. I didn't think that we'd really get CJ Wallace, but we did. We recorded the album, and sure enough, CJ Wallace reaches out and was like, I got wind of the project. I heard you doing the project. We're a big fan of Eric B. Rakim. My dad, Biggie, the Notorious Big, was a big fan of Eric B. Rakim. We love what you're doing. We'd love for you to come out to Los Angeles. So we go to Los Angeles, right? I rented this big house, had a recording studio in the bottom, and we meet with CJ, we meet with Willie, the vibes are good, and then they want us to meet at this warehouse. And that's what's in the lawsuit, is the warehouse that we meet at. And so we're there for about 2 hours, and we're listening to the music, we're doing photo shoots, we're partying, and we're just, chilling. And then Diddy shows up. And that was unexpected, but, he showed up. And the reason that we were at this warehouse is because that was the warehouse this was in January of 2019. No, actually February and March of 2019. And that was the warehouse that was housing all of Biggie's clothes that he wore when he was alive, right? And so the clothes that he wore when he was alive were all on these racks everywhere, like racks of all these clothes that he wore. And the reason that they were there is because they were donating them to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which he was being inducted in November of 2020. So there was all Biggie's clothes. We're going through all these artifacts. I'm blown away. And CJ even says, yo, you should wear one of my dad's original jerseys. So obviously that was an honor. Here we are doing this Biggie project. And now I put on like some of his original garments. And we did some photo shoots and everything else. Well, so when Puffy comes in, he's like going through the clothes, and he was like, nah, you should do this one, almost like a stylist. Because as you know, Diddy's #1 artist of all time is Biggie. The Notorious Big, that's his #1 artist. So at that point, he was still very controlling of the Notorious Big, his music, his brand, everything else. And so he was like, nah, you should wear this one. You should try that one. Right? He closes the door. The door is closed. And, you know, I've got like my t-shirt on. I'm just like putting on, you know, different Biggie's clothes. He's got some like in this couch next to him that are like piled up because he's also grabbing clothes that they're donating to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Right? So he's got all these clothes on there. And I'm just looking through everything, not all the different clothes, just blown away by, you know, what I'm looking at. You know, an artist that has passed, you know, one of the most historical artists of all time. You know, the greatest bisexual rapper of all time is Biggie Smalls. And so I'm going through all those clothes and I hear Diddy on his phone and I didn't know if he was on FaceTime or whatever, but I could hear like, you know, it sounded like, right? And so I'm just like, you know, I'm not trying.
Okay, so they must have bleeped out, but he said it sounded like porn.
Kind of like stare over at him and look over at him and all that type shit, right? So I'm just kind of minding my business, but also kind of in tune to what Diddy's doing. Everybody's out in the other, you know, rooms. The music is playing loud, you know, that we did. And it's just Diddy and I in this room with all of Biggie's clothes. Next thing you know, it's like I look over and it's like this dude is looking on his phone and he's like jerking off underneath one of the shirts. So I'm just kind of tripping like, nah, maybe he's scratching himself. Maybe he's, you know, it can't be what's going on. But sure enough, that's what he's doing because he's like, as he's getting into it, he's like, yo, bro, finish me off. And I'm just like, nah. So, you know, he finishes off into one of Biggie's garments that he wore, and you know, like a nut towel or something. And then he does his thing, and he walks over and he throws that on my arm. And
pause. So that was an act of degradation. Again, in the BDSM world, a sadist. See, there's a difference between a dom who's a dominant and a sadist. A sadist is a dom who, like, their whole focus is degradation. When I was, you know, like practicing kink as a female dom, when it comes to training, is what they call it, a submissive or a sub. There's certain acts of degradation, but the difference is that sub gives you consent to do that and they actually crave it. That's what makes them a masochist. Masochists are subs who crave either physical pain or degradation, like it's part of the kink. But when it goes beyond kink, it goes into the realm of sexual abuse. Because why would you all of a sudden start watching? It's almost like Diddy, and I have to say allegedly, but it's almost like he allegedly worked himself up to get horny and hard. Oh, let me just go ahead and jack off right in front of him, like it's normal. And then, bro, come finish me off, like come jack my dick off, and then I'ma just nut on this fucking shirt and throw it on you. So that, like, this is disgusting. The degradation, the mental part of it is to shock you. It is to make you, it's kind of like trying to force him to be submissive. And when a person does not want to willingly submit, rapists, pedophiles, predators, and sadists, they will do anything to feel like they are empowered, to feel like they have control. It's quite disgusting.
I'm just like, holy shit. And he's like, rest in peace, Biggie, and walks out and laughs. And I'm stunned. I'm stunned because
Because it's like, I can imagine that, like, bro, what the fuck? I remember I was kicking it with this girl that I, once called a friend. She's not even a girl because she's older than me. She's like 10 years older than me. So I was kicking it with this lady who, at the time, I considered her a friend. And, over this past year, I realized she definitely wasn't. But I'll never forget that we was hanging out and I had stayed the night there. And I'm sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden I look over and she's in her bed under the sheets, butt ass naked on the phone, masturbating. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay, first of all, yeah, I'm bisexual, but you're not my type at all. And even though I have my freaky side, I don't want to see you do that shit. Especially you're not attractive either. Not like, it's just, certain things you shouldn't feel so comfortable to do. Just like one of these dudes from I don't want to say any names, but from a local record label that I am associated with. Dude started talking to me, I'm thinking it's platonic. He's flirting or whatever. I'm not returning the flirt. Next thing I know, I get a DM with the video of him jacking off because he apparently does OnlyFans content. Like, bruh, when did it become okay to just start like, it's one thing if I'm fucking with you. Now, if we're fucking or a couple, I'm into that kinky shit. Yeah, jack off, dude. But if I don't even know you like that and you feel so comfortable to just do that shit, like, people don't even understand that that's considered, technically, that's sexual assault. Like, it's one thing if you're consenting and it's somebody you like, it's somebody you're attracted to, it's somebody that you're into. But it's another thing when it's somebody that you haven't even expressed interest in and they just feel like it's just cool to just start jacking off in front of you. Like, what the fuck? Like, and not only that, this isn't the first allegation that we've heard against Diddy where he's done shit like this. Several people in their cases said that he would just start touching himself. Like, nigga. And then people are talking about some free Diddy so he can get out and keep doing this shit to people. Again, this energy of idolatry that y'all have specifically for Diddy and Jay-Z and Beyonce is disgusting because all three of them have been accused of participating in satanic rituals, and all three of them have been connected to, tied, involved, or accused of participating in sexual abuse and trafficking. And even with evidence, because people don't realize that they are being bewitched, that they are, being deceived, people still don't want to believe it because, well, that's my favorite rapper, or that's, Beyonce, that's my favorite artist, or that's my favorite actor or actress. You don't want to believe that these people could potentially be very evil and all connected to and participating in these satanic rituals. Even when it's right in front of your face.
Was that, right? And it was shocking because it's also Biggie's clothes, like his shirt. And that's the part of the lawsuit that went viral.
And I just want to point out, right in this moment, he is experiencing a PTSD trigger. I can see it, I can feel it, and I can hear it in his voice. Like, this was definitely not easy for him to talk about, I can tell. And just as a spiritualist, I can feel it. And this is why I wanted to show this for those, again, that were going in on him on the most recent video he did on the Blue Couch. Like, I think if more people went back and listened to this video, they might understand why Jonathan, his body language is what it is. Why, even, like, look, he has on, I'm not sure if they're like sunglasses or just tinted glasses, but even with the glasses, that looking away and looking down, that's the shame of the shame part that accompanies after you have suffered sexual abuse. There's always a part of you that feels ashamed about it. There's always a part of you that when you relive that moment and it's traumatic, it triggers anxiety, it triggers fear, it feels like you can't breathe because you're reliving that trauma. And these are the things that I assist with in my spiritual consultations to help people heal, because it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking as an empath, clairvoyant, psychic medium to see, feel, and hear other people's pain and other people's traumas. Matter of fact, one of my consultations, and he's in the chat, I channeled his sister because we were discussing that. I channeled his older sister, and what I seen and felt and heard, it made me cry. Because I saw that girl had been molested and raped since she was about 2 years old and had gotten used to it. And that's why she is the way she is now. Why she's so mean and bitchy and guarded. I mean, I could see what happened to her. I wish I didn't see what happened to her, but I saw it and I felt it. And I started bawling because I'm like, bro, I don't want to see this shit. This is fucking horrible. Like, again, y'all need to have, and when I say y'all, I'm talking about the people that were going in on Jonathan in the comments. Y'all need to really understand that just because you may not have experienced sexual abuse does not mean that when somebody finally has the courage to come forward, that you have the right to invalidate their experience or bash them or drag them for filth. Because trust me, you don't want to know what it feels like to go through sexual abuse. You don't. I would not even wish that on my worst enemy. It's horrible. And then for those of us that suffered it as children and adults, it's that much worse. Something tells me that Jonathan was probably sexually abused as a child. I can feel it. So I really want people to stop being so judgmental and stop believing that your favorite artist, rapper, actor, actress, politician, pastor, preacher, who the fuck ever, that they're not capable of doing these things just because of the double life that they live.
At first, and everybody was like, like making fun of it. Like, what do you mean, Diddy masturbated in the Biggie shirt? So, I put the shirt down. I brush it off. I'm like, okay, we flew in, we're in LA, all these people are out there. And I go out there, I see my girl. And at that point, I'm just stunned. She's like, what's wrong? I don't tell anything. I'm like, I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette. I'm outside smoking a cigarette, just trying to keep my composure because I'm thinking about the project that we've done, the album that was finished. I didn't really know what to do. So I didn't do anything. Diddy left a bunch of ketamine, right? The most I've ever seen. I'm talking about bricks. I don't know what it'd be for CJ and Willie and for us to have a good time while we're, making music and house music and everything else. And then he's out. 2 days later, we're back at the house and we go to this rave, this famous DJ named Carl Cox, just me and Sarah. And, we drop ecstasy, it's a rave, psychedelics. We come back to the house and I tell her, I'm like, yo, the weirdest thing happened. And I'm tripping, I get real emotional about it. And then she opens up to me and she says that she used to work with Diddy 10 years ago, because at that time she was 32. When she was 22, she used to, do private events for Diddy in London, in Tulum, and Ibiza, and Brooklyn, and Miami, and New York. She was just cocktail serving, but obviously, it was probably more knowing, about her past now. So I tell her, she's like, just don't say anything. I'm sorry. Let's just keep the project going. It's not a big deal. Keep it moving. So that's what we did. It's because, I had invested already in the project. I'd already done all this stuff. You know, it's about Biggie, not, you know, Diddy's whack shit. You know, so I didn't say anything to anybody, and you know, kept the project going, right? So the pandemic gets in full swing, and we released the first single, you know, Big Papa, and that goes on like Rolling Stone and Spin Magazine. Me and CJ Wallace, we doing his, you know, dad stuff, and you know, Diddy was like really like, you know, controlling over what the music was going to be, what the vibe was going to be, because you know that, you know, being totally ejected, that is his artist, right? So,
Right.
you know, the project gets weird. That happens, and where, you know, the project is buzzing. You know, I'm, you know, put it to the side, and on the second attack, the real attack that happened is what happened in, you know, a year later, which is in the lawsuit, which is they picked me up. So first of all, I finally came clean to CJ and Willie. Well, I came clean to CJ. I was like, bro, this is weird, bro. This is what happened. Like, this guy nutted in your dad's shirt. He threw it on me. I just felt like I needed to tell you that, because right before that, sorry I'm all over the place, but when Biggie was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in November, it starts off with Puff Daddy, and he's talking about obviously inducting Biggie into the Hall of Fame, and then it closes with Biggie's son, CJ Wallace, Biggie's rock and roll thing. So I didn't want to say anything to CJ until after his dad was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I knew I was going to, so I waited until after that moment. So that's why I waited until early of 2021. And I go back out to LA, and that's when I tell CJ. And I also tell him that Willie's acting hella weird, because they wanted to make the project like super gay, right? They wanted to meet Frank White meets Frankie Knuckles, and they wanted to be all inclusive, you know, trans, LGBT, you know, all this stuff that they want to include. CJ and Willie, as I said in one of your interviews, they were like a thing. They were like, you know, boyfriend and boyfriend. But Willie was also doing some extra like weird shit with me, and which I've talked about in some of the other interviews. And so I let CJ know, like, bro, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. Shit is hella weird. And as soon as I told him, chaos broke out, right? And they're like, we're canceling the project. And here I am out in LA, and, you know, so I was a little shocked. Well, then CJ calls me back a few weeks later, and he says, listen, man, I got Willie with me. We want to get together with you. The project is back on. We're going to pick you up, and we're going to film you for Revolt. And the three of us are going to talk about the project, and we're going to get it going back in full steam. So I was like, hell yeah. Willie apologized to me over the phone, said he didn't know. He thought I was gay, even though I was with my girlfriend, even though I've never, whatever. Because, I just weird or whatever. So he was like, basically I misread the room. So,
and that's the thing too. A lot of people were in the comments like, he looks gay, he looks down low. Why is he wearing a wig? Why is he wearing ponytails? People have their own style. Like, why can't a person just be different and not be labeled as having to be gay because they're different? It's really the level of ignorance of the people in real life street stars in the comments is appalling, because it's like, do y'all tune in to get information, or do you just tune in so you can pop down in the comments and talk shit? Because that's what it seems like. It's especially on a lot of the videos of Jonathan Hay, I've been noticing that's kind of a pattern, which is ridiculous.
So they picked me up, and that's what it says in the lawsuit, and they took me to a Revolt affiliated house, right? So in the ride over there, it doesn't feel like it's just me in the back seat, CJ and Willie. It didn't feel like, you know, the band's getting back together, we went through a fight. It just felt very, very weird. We pulled up to this white house, and when we're walking in, we start to walk into the house, and immediately when I walked into the house, I knew something was weird. There was Biggie stuff everywhere, like, you know, like all Biggie's, like posters and like artwork and Bad Boy and everything else. And so these two of Puffy's, and I saw CJ's brother. His name is Josh Rousseau. That's Faith Evans' other son. It's CJ's half brother. You know, Faith has two sons, CJ and Josh. I saw him. He didn't even really like acknowledge me like he normally does. So I was like, okay, this is weird. These two dudes come over, and they put this like COVID, this like one of those weird like COVID masks where they used to have like the not like the regular that people would wear, like the full face that people would wear. They're like pulling it over and like, yo, this head's so big, you know, pulling it over the. That's what it felt like. At first I thought it was like a COVID mask, but it was some kind of thing, and it's like covering. They get it to like my stuff, but I could still see like the floor and stuff under my eyes. They push me back into this room, and like there's this like ottoman. I fall in the back of the chair, and then Diddy's comes in, and I could hear his voice. I could see his feet, and I'm like trying to look up, through these little cracks, like what's going on. And he's like, you don't deserve Biggie Smalls. You don't deserve, to be with the Biggie estate. He's just going on and on and on and on and on, right? And like sitting there like tripped out because I was in a home invasion, 2 years prior to that.
Right.
And next thing you know, Diddy is like putting his dick in my mouth, and I'm like, he's grabbing my head, and he's like grabbing the back of my head and like my face type shit. And I thought for sure that I was gonna die at that point, because he was angry and yelling. And after all that like ended, CJ and Willie come in the room, and I could tell that CJ was surprised, maybe. I don't know, but he obviously set it up. And then he was like, bro, just smoke this blunt. And like, I just had Diddy's dick in my mouth doing his share a blunt, right? Like, I was like, bro, I just want to go. I want to go. And they drive me back to my hotel, and that was it. That was the last that I saw them. And I go back to our places, Dallas, right? Because I had people in Dallas, and I stayed at the Statler Hotel. I lived at the Statler Hotel for like 3 months, and I would just stay in my room and, you know, just processing and traumatized. And then I started getting angry. Then I started contacting Faith. And then I started contacting, you know, CJ's, who he calls his dad by the name of Todd Rousseau, Faith Evans' ex-husband, and telling him about, you know, all the that was going on. I reached out to Valletta, I reached out to everybody, and I'm just so pissed off. You know, I was just
traumatized.
You know, totally like,
it's horrible.
You know, taken advantage of and everything else, and I just snapped. And
that's what happens when you're struggling with complex PTSD as a result of being sexually abused. You go through that. You go through the anger, the shock, and then when you just feel like you lose it. It's like literally part of your mind and your soul leaves when someone sexually assaults you. And how he's describing Diddy grabbing his head and talking shit. Again, that's all shit that ties into degradation. But it's not okay at all to ever sexually abuse somebody. And again, the fact that a lot of these allegations, they're so similar, but happen to different people at different times, but with the same person. You know, it's just, wow. Now, this pulled up, I found this when I was looking for this video. And this is Jonathan Hay, you know, talking about what happened. And he says, once Cassie's lawsuit came out, I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. And then once the raids happened, I was like, holy crap. That's when I was like, okay, now is my time. Finally, I just decided that, all right, I'm gonna go forward with this. I just wanted someone to listen. Do you know how many victims just want someone to listen and take their experience serious? To just have someone listen to what they went through and not discredit them, not invalidate their experience. And then he goes, because I don't want to read this whole article because of the time, but he says in 2021, Hay told police that Combs forced him to perform oral sex on him, which made him feel suicidal. This is also the agenda. If they can make you feel like you don't want to live, they take your power. And again, they keep you mentally bound. And this shit here with the satanic rituals, orgies, you know, where they're doing oral, anal, vaginal sexual abuse. Again, Candlemas, blood rituals, sexual rituals, oral, anal, vaginal. So yeah, a person can be sexually assaulted orally so that they can use that person's degradation, that person's trauma as their actual sacrifice for the satanic ritual.
You know, they made all these threats and everything else. I tried to get the police involved then. This is before Diddy's arrested and nobody took it serious. I reached out to Cassie's law firm, Wigdor Law Firm, in 2023, and they wanted to meet with me. But as I was, going to go over to their firm, this is before Cassie came out with their lawsuit and everything else. and obviously there's female records, and obviously this is in Discovery and everything else. Driving through Brooklyn and seeing all the Biggie murals and seeing all the Biggie shit and all the Biggie stuff, like I was like, nah, man, I can't even do this. And just like I started losing projects, I felt blacklisted. I didn't feel blacklisted, I was blacklisted. That project was canceled, which led to my distributor to asking questions, and it just caused like all this turmoil, you know. So then I went out of Brooklyn, I moved to, you know, with my girl in Inwood, Washington Heights area, you know, of New York. And I know I jumped around a little bit from, you know, I left Dallas and went to New York. But there was just a lot that happened like in between. Like one of the guys, because we were filming a documentary on the making of this Biggie House album. And we were doing a lot of that in Dallas, Texas. And
I want to show you guys something. Okay. So, PTSD symptoms, because I typed in PTSD symptoms psychological. That can include intrusive memories, flashbacks, nightmares, severe anxiety, and negative changes in mood or thinking. Flashbacks, reliving the traumatic event as it's happening again. Any of us that I personally know who are survivors of sexual abuse, we've all experienced this. Nightmares, disturbing dreams related to the trauma, intrusive memories, unwanted, distressing memories that come back repeatedly. And these are the things that I believe on a spiritual level that Jonathan's still dealing with. Avoidance symptoms, emotional numbing, trying to avoid feelings associated with the trauma. A lot of times, men and women who become players, 90% of the time, they are survivors of sexual abuse. Some part of them disassociated emotionally after enduring the sexual abuse. And then, of course, some people, it's because their heart was broken and, you know, they never got over it. But emotional numbing, avoiding all of that. Like what he just said, steering clear of places, people, or activities that trigger memories of the trauma. He was like, I just stayed in my room. I feel like this is what he may be experiencing, and this is definitely why I continue to pray for Jonathan's healing. Emotional distress, feelings of guilt, shame, or anger. That's what I keep seeing and feeling on him in this video and the last one. Memory problems, difficulty recalling important aspects of the traumatic event. And it's so sad that so many women who have come forward because they might have mixed up a date or a year, like the lady, the VMAs victim that named Diddy and Jay-Z as the two men that allegedly raped her, just because she had the date incorrect, the case fucking got dismissed with prejudice because, well, there were some discrepancies in the dates. Okay, but that's again part of the after effects when you've suffered sexual abuse. And then hyperarousal symptoms, increased startle response, being easily scared, jumpy, irritability, sleep disturbances, you know, all of that comes from sustaining and enduring sexual abuse. All of that does. So, like I said, I'm continuing to pray for Jonathan. Probably what I'll do is a separate live where I just give my full reaction to the rest of this. And then some of the other videos from last year, the videos, like I found the one where he was talking about Jay-Z, you know, allegedly being bisexual, as well as, you know, just different things that he's experienced. So because of the time, and I'm not gonna lie, my sleep aid's kicking in, either I'll do a part 3 or just a brand new titled live where I deep dive, because I want to compare the things that I heard Jonathan talk about over the past year compared to right now, just so that people can kind of see the history of why Jonathan is doing what he's doing and why he may, you know, behave in a way that other people may not understand. Because again, when you haven't survived sexual abuse, there's no possible way you can relate to people who have. And it's sad that the majority of the people that have been trying to invalidate his experience and many others, it's because they've never been raped or molested. They don't know what it feels like. And it's a horrible thing to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna play this last video and then I'm gonna end the live because I know you guys. Okay, what the fuck? I don't know why those videos do that. I know some people were saying they wanted to see the Morbid Melon video again. This is the video that I found last month, and it's completely relevant to what's going on now, especially with the Epstein files coming out. So yes, this is from Morbid Melon's channel. Jaguar Wright, Oprah, Kanye, Travis Scott, and more celebrities exposed. Now, the very beginning of this video, it's about Jay-Z, Oprah, and Jaguar and Diddy. So again, fair use. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, we just bought it. This a teacher. Never talk bad about the Carters. Might even turn this into a new pizza shop in her name. Come on, let me show you around to our...
So he's saying might even open a new pizza shop in her name. They're talking about Jaguar here.
A new spot.
Wow. Jay, come look at this. Look at her, sitting there with all them nasty ass little African dolls, acting like she wasn't one of us.
I remember this. This is back when we...
I love this part when she was like sitting there acting like she wasn't one of us. This fucking video is hilarious.
Went to Africa, right? At your spot, right, Oprah?
I miss that shop. This is gonna make us a ton of money. Nobody cares about missing African children. We've been doing this for years.
Oh, Oprah, you've outdone yourself again. This place is gonna be a gold mine.
You know what? Making Epstein's character be a reptilian is diabolical and fucking hilarious.
And for us, you know I already have 3 people on reserve, right? Charlize Theron, Bill Clinton, and of course you know I got Prince Andrew.
And Harvey Weinstein has one on layaway right now. Oprah, thank you so much, Oprah, for making our village these schools.
Of course, little girl. I want to see you grow.
Here, I made this just for you, Oprah.
What is this shit? The fuck is this?
Look at this shit, Jay. What the fuck? This nasty ass shit out of here. No voodoo dolls. Matter of fact, Big Bubba, Patrick, start with her. Get her out of here. The good old days, Jay. I miss them. Oh, it was Romy. She done tripped me up. But I didn't. Guess you did, little girl. Shit. Ooh. Oh my gosh. She almost done hurt my twerking hip. You know I still get down like that, right, Beyonce? Should left your ass in the car.
Yo, B, where you going? You don't want to see the rest of the house.
I don't want to see any big cats tonight.
Alright, go ahead. Come on, Oprah, let's see what else we can find in this nasty ass place. Come on.
Look at that.
Is that really his?
Yeah, I think it is.
We should send her back spoonfuls of it. Let her really know we mean business.
You really know how to torture your own people, don't you? I love it.
What was that? Rumi? Hey, baby girl, where you going? Rumi! Yo, Rumi, where you at? Mommy and Blue waiting for you in the car. Rumi? just ain't like you. Rumi? Hey, yo, get off me, nigga. Yo, what is this little voodoo doll shit?
What else is in here? What was that? Jay? Rumi? Is that one of them dolls? Oh shit, that thing moving?
Shit, she probably is like this in real life. This is probably actually how she treated them people. I hate to say it, this is probably how she treated them kids at that damn school.
Now you stay right there. Hold on. Let me get the hell out of here. What the fuck? Oh shit. It's a whole damn voodoo doll village. Now y'all little nigga, stay right there. Jay!
Hell nah, Oprah. I ain't helping shit. That old voodoo bitch, she always gonna get the one up on us. You know they gave her an award for talking bad about us.
That old voodoo bitch, you know she got the one up on us. You know they gave her an award for talking bad about us. Boy, I am telling you, this shit tickles me every time I watch it.
I'm out of here.
Where you going, Jay?
Oh, shit.
Jaguar? Is that your son Ash's bitch? Then what you doing? I do what I want with my DNA. No! Jaguar, no!
Okay, I just wanted to show that part because it is fucking hilarious. Again, shout out to Morbid Melon. Let me go to there. Because they actually have a lot of good videos. Basically, they make animated content based on real life events or, dark humor and all that shit. So as I continue to do my research, any little video off of here that I feel is relevant, I'm going to continue to show. This is the one, matter of fact, let me show this one. This is the one where they made fun of saying that it was Jay-Z allegedly that it hit Rihanna and not Chris Brown.
Last time.
Hold on.
All of the house.
What, at your family office?
Oh wait,
Family
no,
up.
that's the wrong one. That's not the one I meant to click on. Is this the one?
Last time.
Hold on.
All of the house.
Oh, that must be some sort of playlist. That's a playlist. I don't want to. Well, regardless, this is the one where they show Jay-Z walking up on Riri in the car with Chris Brown, and he makes her get out the car and allegedly puts hands on her and then blames it on Chris Brown. So anyway, because like I said, I know y'all was asking for that video, but y'all, I'm falling asleep, so I gotta end the live. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you to those that are new to the channel. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, thank you and welcome to D's World. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell. That way you get notified when I go live or upload. And don't forget to subscribe to me on rumble.com so that when we get ready to do the watch parties, that's how I know I'm tired because I'm blending my words. When we get ready to do the watch parties, you can participate and join in the chat. So again, shout out to Jonathan Hay. Family, send him prayers and positive energy as much as you can. It is not easy for people to come forward and seek justice and speak their truths, especially when they're in the industry, knowing the risk that, they're putting their lives at by speaking out. So y'all continue to pray for him and pray for all the victims. Pray for all survivors of sexual abuse. Pray for the children that are still being trafficked. Pray that we are able to get Forever Freedom popping so that we can go try to find these kids, rescue them, and help rehabilitate them. And, you know, just keep putting that energy out there. So again, shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight. Shout out to those that are supporting the channel. Shout out to my veteran DzPeepz, and shout out to my new DzPeepz family. I will be back. I'm not sure if it's going to be tomorrow or not, but if so, like I normally do, I'll schedule it and y'all should get notified. So love you, DzPeepz. Y'all have a beautiful night.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell.